dear beloved friend, as the first golden strands of dawn stretch gently across the horizon, wrapping the earth in a quiet hush, I welcome you into this sacred moment. The morning is not just the start of another day, it is the soft opening of heaven's curtain, where hope whispers before the world awakens. The birds have not yet finished their songs, and the air is still cool with promise. This is the hour when the soul is most tender, and the heart can hear God more clearly. It is no accident that you are here. Perhaps something drew you in a stirring you cannot quite explain. Or perhaps you came here because deep inside, you are tired of carrying what you were never meant to bear alone. Let me tell you about someone who woke up much like you might have this morning. Her name is not important, because she could be anyone. She sat on the edge of her bed, hands trembling, as tears quietly traced the edges of her cheeks. Last night, she barely slept. Fear pressed heavy on her chest, fear of what the doctor might say. Fear of losing the job that keeps her family afloat. Fear that maybe this time, the weight would be too much. Her prayers, she felt, had gone unheard. Her faith was not gone, but it felt bruised. And yet, as the sky outside shifted from black to blue, something in her spirit nudged her to try again, not with grand words, not with certainty, just with openness. And that is why you are here, is not it? Somewhere inside you, something is reaching. Maybe it is for clarity. Maybe it is for peace. Maybe it is for someone else's healing. Or maybe it is just the longing to feel like you are not alone in all of this. Whatever it is, know this. There is more happening in this very moment than your eyes can see. God is near, not far. Not distant, not a cold ruler on a high throne, but a present, listening, loving God who enters into the quiet hours and makes them holy. The truth is, we all face days when surrender feels like weakness, and trust feels like a risk. But I want to remind you today that surrender is not defeat. It is a declaration of faith. It is saying, God, I do not have all the answers, but I know you do. Surrender is where breakthrough begins. It is not the end of striving, it is the beginning of transformation. This prayer journey you are about to step into is not just words spoken into the air. It is a conversation, a sacred dialogue between your heart and the heart of God. Through each chapter, you will be invited to lay down burdens, release fear, receive healing, and walk with a deeper awareness of divine presence. You will be guided not into a religious ritual, but into a relationship, a real, living, breathing relationship that can carry you through whatever you are facing today. Perhaps your soul is weary. Perhaps your plans have unraveled. Perhaps you feel like you have lost your way. But let me assure you, this journey will remind you that you are not alone. You are not forgotten. And you are not without hope. You will be reminded that every surrender is a seed planted in sacred soil, and those seeds, when watered with trust, will grow into peace, purpose, and power that cannot be shaken by circumstance. This is your time now. This is your space to breathe, to weep if needed, to whisper truth, to sit in stillness, or to speak boldly. This is not about being strong enough. This is about being willing to open your heart wide enough. You do not have to understand everything. You only need to begin. And what better place to begin than right here, in the silence of morning, where God waits to meet you not with judgment, but with joy, not with pressure, but with presence. So take a deep breath. Let the tension fall from your shoulders. Let go of the rush, the weight, the demands. This is holy ground. You are seen, you are heard, and you are deeply loved. Now, if you are ready, let us begin this 24-chapter journey of prayer together, one breath at a time, one surrender at a time, one sacred moment at a time. Let your heart speak. Let heaven respond. Dear Heavenly Father, I wake this morning with so much I cannot name. My heart is heavy before my feet even touch the floor. There is a weight that lingers in my chest. And though I made it through the night, I feel more tired than when I first closed my eyes. There is a quiet ache beneath my skin that only you know, and so I come to you, not with strength, not with confidence, but with the trembling honesty of a soul that does not have it all together. I bring you the weak parts of me first, because they are the loudest this morning. I bring you my unrest, my doubts, my questions, my fear, and I bring you every piece of me that I do not know how to carry today. I cannot pretend to be brave right now. I cannot pretend to be full of faith. What I have, Lord, is small and raw and real. It is the shaky breath I exhale as I admit I do not have control. It is the whisper that says I am overwhelmed by what lies ahead. It is the pause between tasks when my chest tightens and my thoughts run too fast. I am already dreading things that have not happened. I am already trying to fix what I cannot even name. And all of this happens before the day has even begun. So here I am, surrendering not in strength but in exhaustion. I am not kneeling as a warrior. I am curling inward as someone who needs shelter. I do not have grand words or wise prayers. I only have the truth that you are still near, and that you are still listening. And maybe that is enough for right now. You know my thoughts before I speak them. You know what this day holds when I cannot even plan the next hour. You know the worries that crept into my mind before I opened my eyes. You know the tension I carry in my shoulders, the shallow breathing, the tears I refuse to let fall. You know the fears I do not want to name. And still, you stay. Still, you welcome me. Still, you invite me to be exactly as I am. So I begin this day not with a polished prayer, but with a real one. I do not ask for everything to be easy. I ask for you to be with me. I ask for your presence to meet me in every moment where I feel too small. I ask for your strength when mine runs out. I ask for your peace to hold me when I cannot hold myself together. I ask for a kind of grace that wraps around my weariness like a warm blanket. I ask for a glimpse of light, just enough to remind me I am not alone in this. Father, I surrender this day to you as it is. I surrender myself as I am. I surrender not out of noble faith, but because I have nothing else to offer. I am not here because I feel holy. I am here because I feel human. and I know you receive even that. I am here because I need you more than I need answers. I am here because I cannot do this day on my own. I lay down my schedule. I lay down my plans. I lay down the way I thought today should look. I lay down the pressure I put on myself to perform, to produce, to prove that I am okay. I lay down the idea that I must carry everything alone. I lay down the need to be strong in front of others. I lay down the fear that whispers, I will not make it. I give it all to you, even the pieces I want to keep, even the parts I do not fully understand. I give it all to you because I trust that you know how to carry what I cannot. Help me walk slowly. Help me breathe deeply. Help me listen more than I speak. Help me see more than I assume. Help me to stop bracing for the worst and to start expecting your goodness. Help me to loosen my grip and lean into your arms. Help me to wake not with dread, but with the awareness that you are already ahead of me. You are in every hallway I will walk down. You are in every conversation I am afraid to have. You are in every waiting room, every detour, every place that feels unknown. You are not waiting at the end of my day. You are here now, before it even begins. Let your peace fill my home, my body, my mind. Let it be the air I breathe when anxiety rises. Let it be the silence that interrupts the noise in my head. Let it be the calm in the middle of my chaos. Let your presence be stronger than my panic. Let your love be louder than my fear. I ask you to carry me through what I cannot name and guide me through what I cannot predict. I ask you to catch me when I fall back into worry. I ask you to remind me that I am not falling apart. I am falling into your grace. I ask you to give me the courage to begin again, not because I feel ready, but because you make a way even when I am unsure. Remind me that I do not need to have it all figured out. I just need to take the next step with you. Be in the silence between my sentences. Be in the pause between my breaths. Be in the moments where no one sees me but you. Be in the morning that feels uncertain. Be in the weight I cannot shake. Be in the places I try to avoid. Be where I am, not just where I wish I could be, and remind me, even now, that you are not disappointed in my weakness. You are drawn to it. You are close to the brokenhearted, and you do not require perfection from those who come close. So I come close, not polished, not strong, not fearless, but real, tired, a little lost, a little undone. I bring it all to you, and I trust that you will meet me here, in the mess, in the quiet, in the unspoken ache of a heart that is just trying to keep going. I open my hands now, even if just a little, and I say yes to beginning this day with you, not because I feel ready, but because I know you are already here, waiting for me to wake up and remember you are near. Father, the stillness of the morning remains around me like a gentle veil. And even as I continue to sit with you, breathing slower now, heart a little less clenched than before, I feel the weight of what I must do next, not just be still, but let go, not just exhale my pain, but release my grip. I am learning that surrender is not a moment, it is a cry. And this morning, Father, I feel that cry building in me. Not loud, but deep, not theatrical, but true. It rises not from my voice, but from the space where my soul longs to trust you more than I trust my own hands. What I held yesterday, I cannot hold today. And you know the places I still cling to. You see the corners of my heart that stay tight-fisted, even while I whisper words of trust. You know the parts of me that still try to control, still try to predict, still try to protect myself from disappointment. But control has not brought peace. Worry has not kept anything safe. Fear has never made me free. So I come to you again, in this quiet hour, not just to breathe, but to loosen, to let go, to hand over what was never mine to manage in the first place. Father, I feel you calling me to open even wider, to surrender more than just this moment, but my instinct to hold every outcome. I have tried for so long to orchestrate what I think will keep me secure. I have carried plans like armor, expectations like maps. But now, as the first rays of sunlight peek through the curtains, I realize I have built too many walls around my heart and called it wisdom. I have dressed my fears in logic and labeled them as preparation, but none of it has kept the storm away. None of it has brought rest. So here I am, God, holding things in my heart that are too heavy to carry forward. I give you the anxiety I disguise as productivity. I give you the rehearsed conversations I play on a loop in my head. I give you the need to be understood, the ache of not being chosen, the constant wondering if I am behind or too late. I give you the timing I thought was best. I give you the outcomes I secretly begged you for. I give you the pressure I feel to know what is next. I give you the bitterness I told myself I had already laid down. I give you my image, my timing, my pride, my fear of being forgotten. I give you every need to prove I am okay. And as I give, I ask for something greater in return, not clarity, not answers, but you. I do not need a solution as much as I need surrender. I do not need certainty as much as I need closeness. I do not ask for a path without pain. I ask for the kind of faith that can hold joy and sorrow in the same hand. I ask for the humility to trust you without needing to understand you. I ask for the peace that comes not from the absence of trouble, but from the presence of your Spirit inside me. Father, I can feel that there is more you want to give me, but my hands have been too full to receive it. So help me let go, not just in theory, but in practice. Help me lay down the relationships I cannot fix. Help me release the ambitions that have become distractions. Help me to stop grasping at control disguised as faith. Help me open up the locked places of my soul that I thought I needed to protect. And when I tremble in the letting go, meet me there with gentle hands and remind me that you do not rush surrender. You simply receive it. Let the rising sun be a mirror of what is rising in me, a small, quiet courage to let you lead, a sacred kind of bravery that does not come from knowledge, but from trust. I do not have to know what is coming. I only have to know that you are here. And if you are here, then nothing ahead of me can outweigh the grace beside me. Even as my voice stays silent, let my soul speak louder than ever. Let my surrender rise like incense. Let it float to heaven as something raw and real and holy. Not polished, not pretty, but honest, because you do not need perfection from me. You only want presence. You only want my heart to yield. You only ask me to open the door and let you enter, even the places that still feel stormy and unsure. So I invite you in, again and again, into the unspoken fears, into the deadlines I dread, into the dreams I buried, into the pain I minimized, into the disappointment I never admitted, into the questions I have been too afraid to ask, into the longing that still aches under the surface, into the hope I almost gave up on, into the conversation I am avoiding, into the moment I will face today that I wish I could run from, into the silence that echoes louder than any noise. Father, if this day is yours, then so is everything in it. I do not want to offer you only the parts that feel neat and orderly. I offer you the messy middle, the scattered thoughts, the undone pieces. I offer you what I cannot organize. I offer you what I cannot clean up. I offer you myself, not when I feel finished, but while I am still in process. Let surrender not be a one-time act, but a rhythm that follows me through every hour. When fear tries to rise again, let surrender meet it first. When doubt knocks again, let surrender be my answer. When pride tries to take the reins, let surrender humble me. When worry sneaks in through the back door, let surrender close every window. Let this cry of surrender echo through every choice, every conversation, every silent moment today. Teach me that letting go is not weakness, it is worship. That surrender is not giving up, it is giving in to something greater than me. That obedience is not loss, it is love in action. And that when I fall short, your arms are not crossed in disappointment, but open in invitation. You do not shame the one who surrenders. You lift them up. So I let go, not to fall, but to rise. I release, not to lose, but to make room. I cry out, not in panic, but in trust. This is not the cry of despair. This is the cry of surrender. It is the sound of a soul choosing peace over pressure. It is the voice of one who knows that you are faithful, even when the way is unclear. I do not surrender because I have no choice. I surrender because I believe you are better at holding my life than I ever was. And that is enough for this morning. That is enough for this moment. That is enough for me to take the next step, not in fear, but in faith that you are already one step ahead, waiting to walk with me in love. Father, it is in this space of surrender, now that I have let go, even if only a little, that something begins to stir as my grip loosens and my breath deepens. I feel the quiet invitation to look back, not to dwell in regret or revisit pain, but to remember mercy. You know how easily I forget. Father, in the pressure of the present and the fog of uncertainty, I forget how many times you have already come through. I forget how often you have shown up in ways I never could have asked for, never would have imagined, and always needed. You remind me now, gently, that faith does not grow only by moving forward. Sometimes it grows strongest when I pause to look behind me and trace your fingerprints in my story. And so I do that here, in this still morning light. I let my mind return to the places where you rescued me, to the seasons when I thought I had been forgotten. But you were writing something deeper beneath the silence. I think of the doors you opened just when I was ready to give up. I remember the nights I cried quietly, thinking no one saw, and somehow comfort came. A song, a word, a call, a shift in the air, and suddenly I knew you were near. You were there when I was breaking and did not even realize it. You held me steady when everything around me moved. I think of how you placed people in my life to speak truth when I was drifting, how you blocked paths that looked good but were not right. I remember the unexpected provision, the healing that took time, the strength that appeared just long enough to get me through one more hour. I did not always recognize it as mercy then, but I do now. I see it more clearly with every memory. Thank you, Father, for every unspoken miracle, for every moment you held back what I thought I wanted and instead gave me what I needed. Thank you for the closed doors that protected me. Thank you for the gentle delays that were really preparation. Thank you for the hidden blessings that only now I can see. It humbles me to realize how many times you carried me. When I thought I was walking on my own, I was never as alone as I felt. I was never as lost as I believed. You were always writing redemption into my days, even when I mistook silence for absence. Help me remember, not just today, but every day, that my history with you is rich with mercy, that my story is filled with moments when you were faithful even when I was not. You are not a distant memory, but a present help. And yet, the memories matter. They are not old news. They are sacred altars I return when I need to be reminded that you are who you say you are. You were good then. You are good now. And you will be good tomorrow. That truth anchors me more than anything I feel in the moment. So I bring these memories to you now like treasures. I place them before you as offerings of thanks. The time you spared me from disaster. The season you gave me peace when all I could see was chaos. The days when you turned pain into purpose. The nights when you whispered hope just loud enough for me to keep going. Even the small things, the parking space, when I was running late. The smile from a stranger that lifted my heart. The quiet moments of beauty that no one else noticed, you were in all of it. Every moment of grace, every glimpse of kindness, every flicker of light in the dark. I remember the breakthroughs I did not expect, the healing I did not think possible, the doors I thought were too heavy that you opened with ease. I remember the comfort that came without a name, the wisdom that arrived in silence, the strength that rose up in me when I should have collapsed. These were not coincidences. These were not luck. These were you. And in remembering them, I regain my footing. My perspective shifts. My heart realigns. I am no longer lost in what I lack today, because I am full of what you have already done. Father, I ask that you keep my memory awake, that you keep me from forgetting the miracles in my past. Let my story with you be the evidence I hold up to every new fear. Let what you have done become the banner I carry into what I cannot yet see. And when the enemy whispers doubt, let me respond with a memory. When anxiety tries to cloud my faith, let your past goodness clear the way. I do not need to make up hope. I only need to remember what is already true. You have brought me through storms I thought would break me. You have led me through seasons I thought would never end. You have walked with me through wilderness and fire and grief and waiting. And you have done more in those valleys than I ever expected. You were not only with me on the mountaintops, you were the God of my shadows too, the God of my breakdowns and my rebuilding, the God of my silence and my song, the God of my in-between. So I choose now to rehearse your faithfulness. I choose now to preach to my own soul with the truth of what you have done. You have healed. You have restored. You have made a way. You have lifted my head. You have answered prayers. You have rewritten stories. And you have never failed. I declare it now not as empty tradition, but as living truth. You have never failed me. Not once. Even when it took years to see the purpose. Even when the waiting stretched beyond what I could understand. You were always working. Let this remembrance not just inspire gratitude, but strengthen resolve. Let it not only warm my heart, but awaken my courage. Because if you were faithful then, you will be faithful again. If you led me before, you will lead me again. If you held me in the past, you will hold me now. I have seen too much to turn away now. I have tasted too much of your goodness to question your heart. My present will not erase your past, and my future will not exceed your reach. I am held, I am known, and I am standing on a foundation built not by my hands, but by your history with me. Thank you, Father, for reminding me that even when I forget, you remember. You remember every promise you made. You remember every tear I shed. You remember every word you spoke over me. You remember every rescue. And so, I rest now not just in what you will do, but in what you already have. That is enough to breathe again. That is enough to believe again. That is enough to keep going, knowing I carry proof of your love in every chapter behind me. And the same hand that wrote those pages is still writing today. Father, as I sit here, still held in the warmth of all you have done for me, the memories of your mercy still echoing softly through my soul, I begin to feel something deeper stirring in H, not of pain, but of reverence. Because in remembering how faithful you have been, I cannot help but also remember the many times I was not. I cannot run from the truth that while you stayed close, I wandered. While you remained steady, I swayed. And though you were always reaching, I was not always willing to be caught. So now I turn, Father, not with shame, but with honesty, not with guilt, but with hunger for cleansing, for alignment, for a heart that is fully yours again. I know you have not moved away from me, but I feel how far my heart has sometimes drifted. I feel the residue of thoughts that did not honor you, of words I should not have said, of choices made in pride or fear or selfishness. And I cannot keep moving forward without letting you touch those places too. I do not want to carry yesterday's stains into today's surrender. So I open the doors I have kept closed. I lay bare the pieces I hoped you would overlook. Not because I think you will turn away from me, but because I know you will not. You are not waiting to punish me. You are waiting to purify me. You are not holding judgment over my head. You are offering healing to my soul. You see the hidden corners, the envy I pretend is harmless, the resentment I have tucked into quiet spaces, the pride that disguises itself as competence, the fears that have shaped my decisions more than faith ever did. And you love me still. That is what makes this possible. That is what makes this safe. I can confess freely, 'cause I am not afraid of your response. You do not shame me into repentance. You draw me with kindness. Your goodness leads me back. And I do not want to take that for granted. I do not want to be casual with your grace or careless with my freedom. I want to be made clean not for appearance, but for intimacy. I want nothing standing between us. I want a heart unburdened by compromise. So here is my confession. Father, I have let comparison steal my joy. I have let distraction numb my hunger for you. I have allowed anxiety to speak louder than your promises. I have judged when I should have shown mercy. I have kept silent when I should have spoken life. I have spoken quickly when I should have listened. I have tried to control what was never mine. I have trusted my own understanding more than your wisdom. I have made idols out of comfort, out of people, out of my own plans. Wash me, Lord, not just from what I did, but from the ways I think that still do not align with your truth. Wash the patterns, not just the moments. Cleans the places I go in my mind when no one is watching. Cleans the story I tell myself about who I am, especially when that story contradicts who you say I am. Cleans the defense mechanisms I still cling to when I feel threatened. Cleans the lies I have believed about you when life did not go the way I hoped. Let nothing remain that keeps me distant. Let nothing stay that clouds my view of you. I do not want to just feel better. I want to be transformed. I do not want temporary relief. I want lasting restoration. And I know that only happens when I let you go all the way in, not just to the surface wounds, but to the root. Not just to the behavior, but to the belief underneath it. I do not want to cover up what needs to be healed. I do not want to excuse what needs to be surrendered. I want to be real with you, because you already know it all, and yet you wait for me to open the door from my side. So I open it now. Come in, sweep through every thought pattern, shake loose every justification, break down every defense. I invite you into the hidden layers of who I am, into the memories that still sting, into the reactions I cannot always control, into the places where unforgiveness still lingers in silence, into the parts of me that still carry pain from old wounds and respond in ways I do not fully understand. I give you permission to dig deep, not because I want pain, but because I want freedom. And I know that sometimes healing hurts before it restores. Father, I am not afraid to be undone in your hands. I am not afraid to be emptied if it means being filled with what is better. I am not afraid to face the truth because I trust the one who speaks it. You do not expose me to condemn me. You uncover me to rebuild me. You prune to make room for fruit. You purify not to punish, but to prepare. So prepare me for what is ahead, for what you want to pour through me, for who you are shaping me to become. Let your spirit search me, gently, but thoroughly. Let conviction come, not as a weight, but as a whisper that leads me toward wholeness. Let your presence reveal what I have tried to hide. Let your voice be the mirror that shows me what I need to see, not crush me, but to call me higher. And when I see the gap between who I am and who you are, let grace meet me there. Let mercy fill the space. Let your love lift me again, because I cannot fix myself. I cannot cleanse myself, but you can, and you do. You restore the broken in ways no one else can. You do not give up when the process is slow. You do not walk away when progress feels invisible. You are patient. You are thorough. You are committed. And that gives me hope. Not that I will get everything right today, but that I will not walk alone in the journey toward rightness. That every moment of weakness is met with a stronger grace. That every stumble becomes an invitation to lean in again. That your forgiveness is not just a one-time gift, but a constant stream, washing over me every time I come. Thank you, Father, for loving me too much to let me stay the same. Thank you for seeing who I can become and walking with me toward the vision. Thank you for not being disappointed in the fact that I still need cleansing. Thank you for welcoming me with open arms every time I return. Let this morning be more than reflection. Let it be repentance that breathes new life into me. Let it be the turning point, the deeper yes, the quiet transformation that begins in this moment, but lasts far beyond it. I step into this day not just forgiven, but changed, not just covered, but cleared, not just comforted, but called higher. My heart is lighter, my spirit is softer, my mind is quieter. And I know that what you have done in me here will shape how I move through the hours ahead. May every word I speak today flow from a clean heart. May every step I take be ordered from a place of peace. May everything I offer reflect the restoration you have worked in me now. And may I return again tomorrow, not because I have failed, but because I long for more of you still. Father, now that you have searched my heart and cleared away what I could not clean on my own, I sit here in the stillness of this morning, not empty, but available, not flawless, but willing. There is something sacred about this quiet space between confession and movement this moment, when everything feels simple again. My soul exhales, my thoughts slow down, and what remains is a desire to give you not just my burdens, not just my regrets, but everything, especially the things that seem too small to matter. Because I am learning that you are the God who finds glory not only in the grand, but also in the ordinary. Father, I want to offer you my whole day, not just the part that feels spiritual. I want to offer you my to-do list, my tasks, my interruptions, my conversations. I want to give you not only the difficult things that make me cry out for help, but the unnoticed details that I usually rush through without thought. The small decisions, the passing words, the repetitive work, the minutes that fill the hours but rarely get acknowledged. I bring them to you now, not because they are impressive, but because they are real. They are mine. And I want them to be yours. Take the way I prepare my breakfast, the way I speak to the people in my home, the tone I use when I respond to unexpected requests. Take the quiet in between moments, the pauses in traffic, the waiting in line, the way I walk through familiar rooms without thinking. Let these things become altars. Let the mundane become meaningful, because I do them with you in mind. Let my posture today reflect the truth that you are not just present in the extraordinary, but deeply invested in the daily. Help me see the value in showing up. Help me honor the things no one applauds. Folding the laundry, answering the email, making the phone call, listening when I would rather speak, serving when no one is watching. These are not wasted. These are not insignificant. When I do them with a surrendered heart, they become offerings. And if you can feed thousands with 5 loaves and 2 fish, then surely you can do something eternal with my smallest acts of faithfulness. Let me not overlook what matters, just because it does not look dramatic. Let me not underestimate the power of a kind word, a soft answer, a steady attitude. Let me not forget that worship is not always a song, it is sometimes a choice. A breath, a quiet yes in the middle of what feels ordinary. Teach me to be faithful in the unseen places, to serve without needing recognition, to love without needing anything in return, to obey without demanding a sign. You see it all. Father, you see what no one else sees. You know the weight I carry in moments that seem invisible to others. You know how hard it is to stay patient when the day stretches long and the demands keep coming. You know what it takes to keep showing up in relationships, in responsibilities, in routines that wear me thin. And still you call it beautiful when I give it to you. Still you smile over every moment surrendered, even when no one else notices. So I give you this morning, not because it feels holy, because it belongs to you. I give you the emails I will write, the errands I will run, the conversations I will have, the work I will attempt. I give you the energy I spend, the thoughts I think, the way I speak to those I love and to those who test me. I give you the things I wish were more exciting and the things I wish I could skip. I give you my whole day, not just the hard things, not just the sacred things, but all of it. Every detail, every breath. Help me remember that today's rhythm, though simple, can still carry eternity within it. That how I move through the small things says more about my surrender than what I say in the big moments. Help me remember that my attitude can shift the atmosphere, that my quiet choices build a story louder than my public ones, that what I whisper in faith matters more than what I shout in fear. And if I feel invisible today, remind me that I am still seen, that I am not working for applause, but in response to grace. I offer you the conversations that may seem unimportant, but hold the weight of encouragement. I offer you the interruptions that might be divine appointments in disguise. I offer you the repetition that might be building my character. I offer you the moments when I want to quit, but choose to stay. I offer you the gentle strength it takes to do the right thing when no one will ever say thank you. I offer you the little things, trusting that they are never little to you. Father, keep my heart soft in the middle of the ordinary. Let me not grow numb to your presence just because the day feels routine. Let me see you in the common. Let me feel you in the simple. Let my heart be awake even as my hands are busy. Let my thoughts return to you like a song under the surface of my day. Let my spirit breathe in the quiet truth that everything becomes sacred when it is surrendered. And when I am tempted to resent the slow pace, or the hidden work, or the unnoticed kindness, remind me that you see in secret and reward what no one else can. Remind me that this is how character is formed. This is how legacy is built, not in flashes of greatness, but in steady surrender. Remind me that Jesus washed feet, that he sat with people others ignored, that he turned ordinary meals into moments of glory. And if he was not too important for the quiet, then neither am I. Let my thoughts today be seasoned with awareness. Let my choices be soaked in intention. Let my movements be shaped by purpose. Let my life be an offering even in silence. Let my day be a prayer, even when I do not speak. Let my faith be known not just by what I believe, but by how I live when no one else is looking. I want to live this day with the kind of attention that recognizes you in every moment. I want to carry a posture of surrender into each task, no matter how small. I want to honor you not just with the big decisions, but with the way I fold towels, the way I answer the phone, the way I make time for someone who needs my ear. Because you are in all of it, and I do not want to miss you in the name of productivity. I do not want to rush through what could be holy. I do not want to be so focused on the future that I fail to offer you the gift of this ordinary present. So I give you today not just the major headlines, but every quiet sentence in between. And I trust that you will breathe life into what I surrender, even if it seems small, because when it is given to you, it is never wasted, it is never unseen, it is never without purpose, and neither am I. Father, even as I offer you the ordinary, even as I learn to give you the hidden corners of my day, I find myself facing something I cannot ignore: fear. It slips in like a shadow behind routine. It follows the footsteps of responsibility and hides beneath the surface of what I say I trust. I can feel it tugging at the edges of my surrender, whispering questions that try to undo the peace I have just begun to feel. And so I bring it to you now. Not because I have the strength to fight it, but because I know you do. Father, I confess that worry still finds its way into my thoughts more often than I would like to admit. It disguises itself as preparation, as caution, even as wisdom. But you see what it really is: a deep need to feel safe in my own strength. And I know that safety built on control is fragile at best. I cannot keep building walls of what-ifs around my heart and calling it protection. I need something stronger. I need the kind of peace that holds steady even when the answers do not come. So I bring you the fears I have been carrying in silence, the ones I have learned to live with as if they are part of me. The fear of loss, the fear of failure, the fear of what might happen if I let go, the fear of being misunderstood, left behind, unseen, the fear of what tomorrow might bring, of what today might cost, of whether I am strong enough to do this again. I lay them all before you now, one by one, and I do not hide from them, because you are not afraid of what I fear. You are not overwhelmed by what overwhelms me. You remind me that fear does not come from you, that you have not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You remind me that perfect love casts out fear, not with violence, but with calm. Unshakable presence. You remind me that trust is not the absence of uncertainty, it is the decision to lean into you, even while the storm still rages. It is the choice to believe that you are bigger than anything that could threaten me. Help me, Father, to stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios in my head. Help me to stop bowing to the false sense of control that fear offers. Help me to stop feeding the voice that says I am not enough, that danger is always near, that I have to be on guard at all times. Let your truth be louder than every lie. Let your peace settle deeper than every panic. Let your word become the shield that guards my heart when fear comes knocking again. I choose now to speak trust, even if my voice trembles. I choose now to plant my feet in what I know is true, that you are with me, that you are for me, and that nothing today or tomorrow catches you off guard. I choose now to say, even in weakness, that you are my refuge and my strength, not because I feel brave, but because I trust that you are. Not because I have figured everything out, but because I believe that you have already gone before for me. Father, teach me to notice when fear is shaping my decisions. Teach me to pause and invite you into those moments. Teach me to catch the lies before they take root. Teach me to speak truth to my own soul, not with harshness, but with the same kindness you show me. You do not mock me for being afraid. You hold me through it. You sit with me in it. You wait patiently for me to turn to you instead of turning inward. And here I am, turning again. You are my anchor when everything around me feels unsteady. You are my light when the path looks dim. You are the voice that calms the waves inside me. You are the hand that steadies mine when I reach for the courage to take another step. I do not walk alone, not in fear, not in uncertainty, not in the places where my thoughts try to run ahead. You are always with me. And when I remember that, the panic loses power. So I ask now, let trust rise up within me. Let it move through my bones like warmth. Let it push back the cold grip of anxiety. Let it soften the edges of my racing thoughts. Let it fill the silence with confidence that you are not only near, but active, that you are not distant, but deeply involved in every detail of this day. Let trust become my default posture, not only when things feel safe, but especially when they do not. Help me walk through this day with eyes wide open, not to danger, but to your goodness. Let me look for signs of your faithfulness, instead of waiting for something to go wrong. Let me notice your provision, instead of scanning for problems. Let me expect peace instead of dreading pain. Let me speak life instead of echoing fear. And when I begin to spiral, when my thoughts try to run away with me, bring me back with a gentle whisper, you are safe here. Not because life is predictable, not because people are perfect, but because you are present, because your promises are unshakable, because no matter how high the waves rise, you have already declared that I will not be consumed, and I believe you. I believe that even when I do not feel it, your peace is available. Even when I do not see it, your hand is steady. Even when I do not understand it, your love remains constant. Father, I give you every anxious thought, every loop that plays in the back of my mind, every restless question that keeps me on edge, every doubt that disguises itself as caution, every overthinking that steals my sleep and my stillness. I place them in your hands, not just once, but as many times as it takes. And I know you will never grow tired of receiving them. You never say I have brought too much. You never ask me to handle it myself. You invite me, again and again, to trust you with it all. So let this be the day I walk lighter, not because the world has changed, but because I have chosen to trust you more than my fear. Let this be the day I choose peace when panic tries to rise. Let this be the day I speak words of trust before I see results. Let this be the day I remember that the battle is not mine, and the burden is not mine to carry. It belongs to you, and you are faithful. Let my heart beat steady with assurance. Let my steps be firm with quiet courage. Let my mind rest in the truth that I am not in danger when I am in your care. Let fear have no place in the decisions I make, the words I say, the way I show up in the world today. Let trust lead me. Let grace hold me. Let peace be the voice I follow. And when I forget, when I falter, when I fall into old habits again, bring me back quickly. Let my return to trust be faster each time. You are my safe place. Father, you are my steady ground. You are my comfort, my protection, my confidence. You are the one who speaks to storms and they listen, the one who walks on waves and calls me to do the same. I will not be afraid, not because I am fearless, but because you are faithful. And that is the promise I will carry through this day. Father, now that fear has been named and laid down, now that trust has taken its place like a steady breath in my chest, I feel something rising, a quiet strength, a holy confidence that was not there before. It is not loud or flashy, but it is sure. It is the kind of strength that does not come from trying harder, but from standing firmer. You are teaching me that trust is not just a feeling, but a position, a way of standing in the middle of uncertainty without bowing to it. And the ground beneath that posture is your promise. Father, I want to build this day on what you have already spoken, not on my emotions, not on the changing winds of circumstance, but on your word eternal, unshaken, true. You have not left me without direction. You have filled the pages of Scripture with declarations that carry power, not only for others long ago, but for me, here, now. And I choose to stand on them like solid rock beneath my bare feet. So I begin today by declaring what you have said, not because you need reminding, but because I do. I need to hear truth in my own voice. I need to fill the silence of morning with words that carry life. I need to speak out loud the promises that fear tried to bury. I need to write them into the air so they push back against every shadow that still lingers from yesterday. You said, I am not alone. You said you will never leave me or forsake me. You said your spirit is within me, guiding me into all truth. You said I am the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. You said that goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. You said that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. You said that your plans for me are to prosper me, not to harm me, to give me hope and a future. And so I stand on your word this morning, I speak it over every room I will walk into today. I speak it over every conversation, every task, every unexpected challenge. I speak it over my mind, that it will be guarded in peace. I speak it over my body, that it will be strengthened for what I must carry. I speak it over my relationships, that they will be marked by kindness and grace. I speak it over my family, that they will be surrounded by your favor and protected by your hand. Let your promises not just be something I believe in silence, but something I proclaim with conviction. Let me not be timid about truth. Let me not be casual about the power of Scripture. Let me wield it like a sword not to harm, but to cut through lies. Let me use it like a shield not to hide, but to stand confidently. Let me hold it like a lamp that shows me where to go when everything around me feels uncertain. Remind me, Father, that when I speak your word, I am not just reciting lines. I am partnering with heaven. I am echoing what has already been settled in eternity. I am aligning my voice with yours. And in that agreement, there is authority, not my own, but yours flowing through me. You said that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And today I choose to speak life, not because everything is perfect, but because your word remains perfect regardless of what I see. So I speak peace into my inner world. I declare that anxiety has no authority here. I declare that joy is my strength. I declare that wisdom will guide me and discernment will sharpen me. I declare that every need I have has already been seen and will be met in due time. I declare that I walk in favor, not because I deserve it, but because you delight in blessing your children. I declare that closed doors are protection, and open doors are divine appointments. I declare that delay is not denial, and waiting is not wasted. And when I feel weary, I will remember your promise in Isaiah that those who wait upon you will renew their strength, will rise up with wings like eagles, will run and not grow weary, will walk and not faint. When I feel unseen, I will remember that you are El Roy, the God who sees me. When I feel overwhelmed, I will return to Psalm 61 and cry out to be led to the rock that is higher than I. When I feel forgotten, I will remind myself that you have written my name on the palms of your hands. Father, I want this day to be shaped not by the headlines I read or the opinions I hear, but by the truth that you have already spoken. Let your promises anchor me so that I am not tossed around by fear or doubt or pressure. Let them guide me so that I do not waste energy chasing things you never called me to. Let them surround me so that I feel covered, even when I step into unknown spaces, and when I am tempted to shrink back, to question what you have placed inside me. Remind me that you have equipped me for such a time as this. Remind me that I am not too late, not too small, not too broken. Remind me that you began a good work in me, and you will be faithful to complete it. Remind me that I was made with intention, with purpose, and with a calling that cannot be taken away by circumstance. Let me carry your promises like seed in my pocket, ready to plant wherever I go. Let them be the words I give to others when they need hope. Let them be the songs I hum under my breath when silence tries to speak fear. Let them be the thoughts that rise first when my mind begins to wander. Let them be the foundation I return to when all else feels uncertain. Your word is alive, and it is mine to walk in today. So as I move through this morning and into the rest of the day, help me stand, not flinching, not doubting, not comparing, but rooted in what you have said. Let your promises be louder than my insecurity. Let them ring clearer than distraction. Let them hold me upright when I feel tired or discouraged. Let them lift my chin when I feel small. Let them steady my hands when I feel unprepared. You are the God who speaks, and it is so. And I will not forget that what you say carries more weight than anything the world can offer or threaten. I do not stand on my performance. I do not stand on my strength. I do not stand on public approval or predictable results. I stand on your word. And because of that, I will not be moved. I may face opposition, but I will not be shaken. I may walk through unknowns, but I will not walk alone. I may feel weak, but your promise remains strong. And that is enough to face this day with confidence that is quiet, steady, and real. Father, as I stand in the shelter of your promises, as I declare truth over my day and allow your word to shape my steps, I find myself breathing deeper, walking lighter. But even in that confidence, I know what tends to happen. I map out my hours, I build my lists, I fill the spaces of the day with plans, with purpose, with things I think will move me forward. And yet, you often work differently than I expect. You are the God of the unexpected moment, the divine interruption. And so, Father, I open my hands again not just to what I know is coming, but to what I cannot yet see. Interruptions, when I see them through my own eyes, often feel like delays or distractions. They pull me from my tasks, shift my focus, rearrange my order. But through your eyes, they are sometimes assignments. They are moments when heaven brushes earth in the middle of the ordinary. They are invitations to trust your timing more than my plans. They are doors disguised as detours. And I do not want to miss you just because I am committed to my schedule. Father, teach me to pause when something unexpected appears. Teach me to look again when an obstacle seems to block my way. Maybe it is not a wall, but a whisper. Maybe it is not a setback, but a signal that you are doing something new. I do not want to be so consumed with efficiency that I overlook the sacred. I do not want to be so attached to routine that I miss revelation. Soften me to change. Make me sensitive to your spirit, even in the smallest shift. You have taught me that surrender is not just for the big decisions. It is for the moment I have to take a different route. It is for the phone call I did not expect. It is for the person who walks into my day and needs more from me than I feel I have to give. Surrender is for the traffic jam that slows me down, for the interruption that disrupts my rhythm, for the change in plans that feels inconvenient until I remember that you hold the map. So, Father, I invite you into my day not only as my guide, but as my editor. Rewrite the script when you need to. Cross out the lines I was not meant to speak. Rearrange the pages that do not serve your purpose. Shift the story if it leads to something greater. And when the moment comes, 'cause it will when something unplanned presses into my hours, help me to respond with openness instead of irritation. Let my reflex be curiosity instead of control. Let my first thought be, what are you doing here, Lord? Rather than this is not supposed to happen. Give me eyes to see people through the lens of divine timing. Let me not miss someone's need because I was in a hurry. Let me not brush past someone's pain because I was focused on the next thing. Let me not walk past a moment you orchestrated just because it not look like what I had envisioned. Slow me down enough to notice the holy in the interruptions. If today holds conversations I did not anticipate, help me show up fully present. If today brings obstacles I did not plan for, help me face them with trust. If today detours me from what I expected, help me remember that you never lose track of me, that nothing surprises you, that every delay has the potential to become divine if I allow you to lead. I know that some of the most meaningful moments in my life did not come from plans, but from pivots. They came from a canceled appointment, a changed direction, a stranger I was not supposed to meet. You are the God who meets people by wells, who speaks on mountain paths, who interrupts storms with peace. You are the God who takes ordinary moments and fills them with purpose. So interrupt me, Father, if that is what today requires. Intervene in my day if that is how you will reach me. Detour me if that is how you will protect me. Shift my steps if it is how you will show me more of you. Even when I resist, pull me gently into the better thing you have planned, and give me the humility to say yes, even when I do not understand the why. When I am tempted to push forward anyway, slow me down. When I am inclined to complain, soften my heart. When I start to panic because I have lost control, remind me that control was never the goal, obedience was. And you never ask me to understand everything. You only ask me to follow. I want to be a person who recognizes divine appointments, not just checked boxes. I want to be someone who hears your whisper in the middle of the noise. I want to walk through today with a heart so tuned to you that I sense your nudge before you even speak, that I feel your redirection before I have taken the wrong step, that I respond not with resistance, but with wonder. Let me see interruptions as invitations. Let me respond to inconvenience with grace. Let me welcome surprise with faith. You might use the moment I am trying to avoid to do the very thing I have been praying for. You might speak through the person did not want to talk to. You might guide me with the silence I thought was delay. You might answer me through a completely different door than the one I have been waiting to open. Let my hands be open, not just in worship, but in flexibility. Let my plans be surrendered, not just in theory, but in practice. Let my peace remain intact, even when my schedule does not, and when the interruptions feel hard. When they ask more of me than I feel I have, fill the gap with grace. Remind me that I am not required to have limitless strength, only a willingness to say yes. And when the end of this day comes, may I look back and recognize the moments you were there in ways I did not expect. The conversation that became healing, the delay that became protection, the inconvenience that became holy, the shift that became breakthrough. And may I rejoice not in how well my plan went, but in how closely I walked with you through every twist and turn. because your presence is the promise, not predictability, not perfection, not performance, but presence. You are with me in every redirection. You are guiding even when I do not feel guided. You are working even when I do not recognize the work. And if I can stay close to you, then nothing is wasted, nothing is random, nothing is without meaning. So I step into this day with open hands, an open mind, and an open heart. I let go of needing it to go my way. I let go of needing everything to be smooth. I let go of the pressure to have it all figured out. And I choose to walk with expectation, not for perfection, but for your presence in every unexpected place I may go. Father, even as I open myself to divine interruptions and welcome the unexpected turns you may lead me through today, I cannot ignore the deeper truth stirring beneath it. All there is still so much I do not know, so much I cannot predict, so much I wish I could see ahead of time. And yet, here I am, walking into another day with unanswered questions, sitting quietly in the back of my mind. Father, help me embrace the unknown, not as something to fear, but as a place where you meet me in ways only mystery can hold. You know how much I long for clarity, how I try to gather understanding like armor, how I reach for explanation to feel secure. But more often than not, you lead me without giving me the full map. More often than not, you invite me to walk forward in trust, not because the path is clear, but because you are near, and that nearness must be enough for today. So here I am again, standing at the edge of questions I cannot answer about timing, about direction, about why some prayers seem unanswered and others are met with silence. I bring you the pieces that feel unresolved, the prayers I have prayed for years, the doors that remain unopened, the whispers that still linger with no clear end in sight. I bring you the ache of waiting, the weight of wondering, the quiet hope that refuses to die even when logic says it should. Father, help me not mistake the unknown for absence. Help me not confuse uncertainty with abandonment. You are not hiding from me. You are holding space for faith to grow. And I want to grow, even if it means walking through shadows I cannot name. Even if it means walking without knowing how long the road will be. Even if it means choosing peace before understanding. Let me find you in the mystery. Let the unknown become sacred ground, not because I have the answers, but because I find deeper intimacy with you there. Strip away the illusion that I must figure it all out. Show me how to rest in what I do know, that you are good, that you are for me, and that you are with me, no matter how unclear the next step may seem. You have always been the God who reveals things in pieces, a cloud by day, a fire by night, a whisper in the cave, a touch on the hem. You speak in ways that invite us to listen closely. And sometimes, you answer not with explanation, but with presence. You do not hand us the whole story, you invite us to trust the author. So today, I choose to lay down my need to know. I surrender the obsession with outcomes. I let go of the pressure to solve what only time and your wisdom can reveal. I allow space for wonder. I choose peace in the presence of mystery. I choose to walk by faith, not by sight, not by assumption, not by control. And when fear begins to rise again, when the silence feels too long or the path too dark, remind me that faith is not built in certainty. It is built in surrender. It is built in the quiet choosing of trust, moment after moment, step after step. And I can do that. I can take one more step, even in the fog, even in the quiet, even when I cannot see more than a few feet ahead. Let this be the day I stop demanding signs and start delighting in your companionship. Let this be the day I stop asking why and start asking, what are you teaching me here? What are you forming in me? What are you preparing that I cannot yet see? Let this be the day I begin to see mystery not as a punishment, but as an invitation into deeper communion. You are not only the God of answers. You are the God of presence, the one who walks beside me when the answers do not come, the one who carries me when my legs give out, the one who whispers peace in the hallway between prayers and fulfillment, the one who says, "Be still and know," even when everything around me begs me to panic or perform. So still me, Father, not because I have figured it out, but because I have finally stopped needing to. Calm the noise of my need to explain everything. Quiet the questions that twist themselves into knots in my mind. Let the peace that surpasses understanding not just visit, but settle in me, take root in me. Anchor me. Let the unknown no longer be a thief of joy, but a doorway to wonder. Let it no longer be a burden I resist, but a rhythm I enter, one that teaches me to lean, to trust, to breathe, to open my hands wide, even when I do not know what you will place in them, even when I do not know how long I will have to wait, even when the next step feels risky. Father, help me not waste today searching for tomorrow's clarity. Help me live fully in this moment, even if it is wrapped in questions. Let my faith be more than hopeful waiting. Let it be worship in the uncertainty. Let it be surrender in the stretch. Let it be a song that says, even if I never see it, I will still believe you are working. Remind me that the unknown is often where miracles begin. That the story does not stop because I can see the whole plot. That you are still writing, still weaving, still orchestrating things behind the scenes. And though I may not understand today, I will look back one day and see that you never left, never wasted a moment, never forgot me. So I will walk through this day with open eyes, not for signs and answers, but for your fingerprints, for the gentle ways you show up, for the quiet affirmations that I am still on the path you designed, even if I can see where it ends. I will look for you in the pause. I will wait for you in the quiet. I will trust you in the delay. And I will believe that even this uncertainty carries purpose. You are here, even in the unknown. You are working, even when I cannot trace your hand. You are leading, even when the road winds longer than expected. And because of that, I can walk forward not in fear, but in faith, not with all the answers, with full confidence in the one who knows them all. That is enough for today. That is enough for me to keep going. That is enough to find peace. Right here, in the middle of what I still do not understand. Father, even here in the peace of surrender, even in the quiet where I have laid down control and chosen to trust you in the unknown. I can still feel the pressure of invisible battles. Though my heart rests in you, I am not blind to the resistance. There are moments sudden, subtle, or sharp when something stirs against what you are building in me. A tension, a heaviness, a pushback that has no name but leaves an imprint. And I know, Father, that not everything I feel is emotional. Some things are spiritual, and some moments call me not just to rest, but to rise and fight in prayer. You have not called me to walk through this day unaware. You have not asked me to surrender blindly. You have equipped me. You have clothed me with authority. You have placed your word in my hands, not only as comfort, but as a weapon. And while I do not fight with fists or force, I do fight with truth, with faith, with praise, and with your name. The battle is not mine to win, but it is mine to stand in. So today, I stand. I take my place in the Spirit, not because I am strong on my own, but because I am surrounded by the strength of heaven. I do not lift my voice out of fear, but out of boldness, because I know that the enemy cannot hold what you have already claimed. He cannot break what you have covered. He cannot silence what you have called. So when he tries to plant lies, I speak truth. When he whispers fear, I shout faith. When he stirs confusion, I declare clarity. Father, I come against every attack that has tried to wear me down. Every thought that is not from you, every seed of doubt, every shadow of insecurity, every arrow of accusation. I break agreement with every lie that says I am not enough, not loved, not seen. I silence every voice that speaks discouragement over this day, over my calling, over my family. I declare that my mind belongs to you. My peace is protected. My heart is guarded by truth. I do not walk through this day unarmed. I carry the armor you have provided. I buckle the belt of truth around my waist, that I may walk in alignment with who you say I am. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, not my own, but the righteousness of Christ that covers every failure. I place the shoes of peace on my feet, ready to carry calm wherever I go. No matter what chaos tries to rise, I lift the shield of faith to extinguish every fiery dart of fear, anxiety, temptation, or shame. I wear the helmet of salvation that protects my thoughts with the assurance of your love and rescue. And in my hand, I hold the sword of the Spirit, your word, alive, sharp, and unshakable. Let me not forget that prayer is not passive. It is powerful. It is not a whisper into the void. It is a declaration into battle. When I pray, things shift. When I speak your name, darkness flees. When I worship, chains fall. So I will not stay silent when the atmosphere feels heavy. I will not sit still when I am called to stand firm. I will not retreat when opposition rises. I will remember who I am and whose I am. And even when I feel weak, I will pray anyway. I will lift my voice. Even if it shakes, I will speak truth. Even if it is only a whisper. – Because prayer is not about volume, it is about authority. I declare that my mind belongs to you. My peace is protected. My heart is guarded by truth. I and you have given me yours. You have given me the right to stand in your name, to declare your promises, to invite heaven to move on earth. So I invite you now. Father, move in the places that feel stuck. Break through where I feel blocked. Release your presence where the enemy has tried to create fear. I pray for protection over my mind, that no toxic thought would take root today. I pray for covering over my heart, that discouragement would not settle in. I pray for strength in my spirit, that I would not grow weary in doing good. I pray for divine wisdom to know what is mine to carry and what I must release. And I ask for discernment to recognize when resistance is not just difficulty, but spiritual warfare. Let me be alert, not anxious. Let me be aware, not afraid. Let me be responsive to your leading, even if it means stopping what I am doing to pray in the middle of the day, even if it means speaking life over a situation I had written off, even if it means forgiving someone I was not ready to forgive, even if it means blessing what I do not fully understand. Let me fight with the weapons of the kingdom: humility, truth, love, obedience, and persistence. And when I feel surrounded, remind me I am not outnumbered. Remind me that angels encamp around those who fear you. Remind me that the one who is in me is greater than the one who is in the world. Remind me that I never stand alone in battle. You are beside me. You go before me. You cover me from behind. You sing over me in the night, and you speak through me in the day. Help me recognize when the struggle is not just natural, but spiritual. Give me wisdom to respond, not react. Give me boldness to speak, not shrink. Give me peace to stay grounded when the winds begin to howl, and give me perseverance to keep praying, even when results are not immediate. Let me not stop short of breakthrough. Let me not give up before the walls fall down. Let me press in, even when I feel nothing, even when it seems quiet, even when I am tired, because I know that prayer does not depend on how I feel. It depends on who you are, and you are faithful. You are mighty. You are moving, even when I cannot see it, even when I do not feel it. You are always at work, so I will pray with expectation, not desperation. I will speak life with confidence, not fear. I will war in the Spirit, knowing the victory is already won. Father, thank you for calling me into this kind of strength. Not strength that strives, but strength that surrenders and still stands tall. Not strength that fights alone, but strength that partners with heaven. Thank you for not leaving me unprotected. Thank you for giving me tools, weapons, promises, and your presence. Today, I choose to use them, not with force, but with faith, not with pride, but with praise. And I believe this day will not be marked by defeat, but by divine alignment. Not because I fought harder, but because I chose to stand in prayer and let you fight for me. Father, now that I have taken my stand in prayer and recognized the authority you have entrusted to me, I do not want to just rush ahead in that strength. I want to walk carefully, attentively, listening to you not only in moments of battle, but in the quiet spaces in between. I know the greatest victories are not just won by force, they are cultivated by intimacy. And more than anything today, I want to stay close, not just in word, but in awareness, not just in belief, but in behavior. So I pause now, Father, and ask you to teach me how to walk with the Spirit, not as a concept, but as a living rhythm, breath by breath. You have made your home in me. You dwell within, not as a visitor, but as a guide. And I confess how often I move through my day without checking in, without noticing, without asking what you think or where you are leading. Sometimes I pray and then get up and forget to keep listening. But I do not want to live like that anymore. I want my entire day to become a conversation with you. Even when no words are spoken, I want to become sensitive to your presence, not only when I am still, but when I am moving. Let your voice be the compass I return to moment by moment. Teach me, Father, to listen beyond noise. Help me discern the nudge from the noise, the prompting from the pressure. I do not want to be led by obligation or reaction. I want to be led by your Spirit. When I enter a room, help me be aware of what you are doing there. When I open my mouth, let me pause long enough to ask, is this what you would have me say? When I face decisions, large or small, train my heart to look for the subtle movement of peace or pause. Help me not to override what you are saying with what I assume is right. You do not always shout. You often whisper. And your whispers carry more power than any volume this world could offer. Make me quiet enough inside to hear them. Help me recognize when you are telling me to wait, even when everything around me says to rush. Help me notice when you are leading me away from something that looks good on the surface, but holds trouble beneath. And when you open a door that I would not have chosen, give me the courage to walk through it anyway. Let my schedule remain flexible beneath your voice. Let my preferences bow to your direction. Let my habits be interrupted by holiness. And when I miss a moment, when I move too fast or lean on my own understanding, bring me back gently. Remind me that you are not a God of shame. You are a God of invitation, and you never stop drawing me closer, no matter how many times I forget to listen. Father, I want to live attuned. I want to walk with a spirit that is soft, open, and ready, not easily swayed by emotion, but anchored by your leading. I want to be someone who does not just react to life, but responds to your direction. Someone who does not just speak for you, but speaks with you. Someone who is not led by pressure, but by peace. Help me recognize that walking with the Spirit does not mean constant activity. Sometimes it means stopping. Sometimes it means saying no. Sometimes it means sitting with silence until your voice becomes clearer than the questions. Let me not be afraid of stillness. Let me not fill every gap with noise. Teach me to create space in my soul, so I can notice the way you are guiding me, even when it does not look dramatic or loud. I invite you to lead every detail today. The conversations I expect and the ones that surprise me. The tasks I planned and the interruptions I did not. The people I meet and the moments I meet myself. Let none of it be led by impulse alone. Let all of it be shaped by your Spirit moving within me. If you say turn, I will turn. If you say stay, I will stay. If you say speak, I will trust you with the words. If you say be silent, I will trust you to speak where I cannot. If you lead me to places that feel uncomfortable, I will remember that growth does not happen in convenience. And if you lead me to rest when I feel the pressure to perform, I will trust that stillness is not wasted when it is surrendered to you. I do not want to live driven, I want to live drawn. Drawn by grace, drawn by truth, drawn by the steady current of your voice in the background of my thoughts. Let your spirit be the melody I hum without even realizing it. Let your presence be the pause between every sentence I speak. Let your leading be the unseen thread that weaves through all I do today. And Father, when I do not hear clearly, when the path feels quiet, help me not to panic. Help me to trust that even silence is part of your design. That sometimes you are teaching me to wait, to discern, to stretch my trust deeper than before. Let the quiet places be holy, not scary. Let them deepen my hunger instead of shrinking my hope. Remind me that you never truly leave, that you speak not always in new instructions, but often in the still repetition of peace. Let me be someone who listens deeply, not just when I pray, but as I move, as I work, as I speak, as I rest. Let my whole life become responsive to you. And when I forget again, because I will bring me back, not with thunder, but with tenderness, not with guilt, but with grace. Let me feel you more in the moments between decisions than in the decisions themselves. Let me sense you even in the unnoticed details. The glances, the breaths, the small steps that no one applauds but you. Father, I do not just want to live for you. I want to live with you, side by side, breath by breath, decision by decision. I want to carry a heart that beats in time with yours, ears that lean in before my mouth speaks, eyes that look for your movement before I act on my own. Let this be the day I walk slower, listen deeper, respond quicker. Let this be the day I move not in haste, but in harmony with the spirit you have placed inside me. Let this be the day I truly walk with you, not just toward a goal, but through every moment between now and what comes next. Father, even as I walk more attentively with your spirit, I realize how often I still wrestle with control. Even while saying I trust you, my hands clench around the steering wheel of outcomes. Relationships, timing, and plans. Father, the truth is, surrender sounds beautiful until it becomes real. And now, in this still morning, I come not to pretend I have mastered trust, but to confess how hard it is to release what I cannot predict. Yet because you are faithful, I will keep trying to let go again and again. Yesterday's obedience does not guarantee today's surrender. Every sunrise brings new situations where I am tempted to grasp what I should release. Sometimes it is fear that drives me to hold on, fear that if I do not manage everything, it will fall apart. Sometimes it is pride believing I know best. And sometimes it is just habit, a lifetime of thinking that responsibility means control. But Father, your peace has never flowed from my grip. It has always come when I release everything into yours. You never asked me to be the one who orchestrates the outcome. You only ask me to trust the one who sees beyond what I can see. You are already in the tomorrow I am afraid of. You are already working in the places I cannot reach. So today, let me begin again with open hands. Let me release my expectations, my strategies, even my need to understand. Let me give you not just the problems I am tired of, but the dreams I secretly want to guard. I surrender the people I love, not out of indifference, but out of faith that you love them more. I surrender the outcomes I have worked for, knowing that no striving can produce what only your grace can complete. I surrender the timeline I thought I needed, because your timing is never late, even when it delays my comfort. And I surrender my image the pressure to appear strong, capable, or unaffected. I bring you the real version of me, the one who trembles inside while smiling on the surface. Father, help me not just to say I trust you, but to live like I do. Let it show in the way I release control of conversations I cannot rewrite, in the way I give up rehearsing outcomes in my mind. Let it show in the way I stop fighting battles that are no longer mine to fight. Let it show in how I sleep tonight unburdened, unworried, because I have placed it all in your hands, and your hands do not drop what is surrendered in faith. I know surrender is not a one-time act, but a rhythm, a moment-by-moment decision to step out of the driver's seat and into the passenger's trust. Sometimes I will forget and grab the wheel again, and when I do, gently remind me. Whisper back into my anxious heart the truth I have already tasted. You are good, you are sovereign, and you can be trusted. Let me not confuse surrender with passivity. Teach me the difference between letting go and giving up. Letting go means I still care, but I no longer cling. Letting go means I act in obedience, not in desperation. Letting go means I plant the seed and water it, but trust you for the harvest. So give me the wisdom to act where I should and the courage to step back where you lead. There are areas I still grip too tightly. I know you see them, those private spaces where I keep insisting on my way, even in silence. You see the hidden conversations I play on loop in my mind, the decisions I overanalyze, the doors I keep pushing even after they have clearly closed. Father, let this be the day I stop, not from resignation, but from revelation. You are not only able, you are already at work, even when I see nothing moving. I bring you my unanswered questions, the ones that keep circling like restless birds. I bring you the outcomes that have not come through, the silence I still do not understand, and the dreams that seem delayed beyond reason. I bring them not for you to explain, but for you to hold, because sometimes the gift is not clarity, but comfort. Sometimes the answer is not information, but presence. If my hands stay full of control, they cannot receive grace. So let me set it all down, one weight at a time. The illusion that I can protect everyone, the belief that I can prevent pain, the assumption that without my worry, things will unravel. Teach me to believe in the quiet power of surrender, that my letting go is not weakness, it is worship, that my releasing is not abandonment, it is trust in your goodness. Let my surrender today be honest. If I feel afraid, I will say so. If I feel unsure, I won't cover it with performance. I will bring you my raw, trembling trust, even if it feels like a whisper. I know you to reject me for needing to hand things over 100 times. I know you do not require perfection to receive what I offer. So take my surrender, as fragile as it is, and breathe peace into it. Father, when I surrender, I am not giving up responsibility. I am placing it where it belongs. When I surrender, I am not refusing to act, I am refusing to act alone. And when I surrender, I am not choosing passivity, I am choosing partnership, a holy yielding to the one who sees the entire picture, while I only hold one small piece. So I open my hands again, over and over if needed. I lay down the timing. I lay down the outcome. I lay down my insistence. And I choose to believe that you will do what is best, in the way that is best, in the time that is best. Whether I understand or not, whether I see the fruit or not, whether I feel secure or not, I choose to trust you because you have never failed, and you never will. Let this be the morning I release what was never mine, to control and embrace the freedom of walking by faith, not by sight. Let this be the day I breathe easier, not because life got simpler, but because my trust in you got deeper. Let this be the moment I stop wrestling for answers and start resting in your arms. Father, the more I walk this journey with you, the more I realize how often I try to control the things I was never meant to carry. Even now, in the early stillness of this morning, I confess how tightly I cling to outcomes, to answers, to the illusion that I know what is best. But you, Father, have shown me again and again that surrender is the doorway to peace. And so today, I choose it, not as a last resort, but as an act of trust, a holy offering. I loosen my grip on everything that is not mine to hold. I surrender the people I cannot fix, the problems I cannot solve, the past I cannot rewrite, and the future I cannot predict. I offer them into your hands, where they belong, and I ask for the strength to leave them there. You have never asked me to be strong enough to carry everything. You have asked me to trust that you are strong enough to carry me. So here I am, admitting my need, admitting the weight is too much for me, and laying it down at your feet. The more I let go, the more I feel you drawing close. It is not that you were far, it is that my striving kept me distracted from your nearness. In surrender, I am finally still enough to sense your presence. I breathe deeply, not to find clarity, but to rest in your mystery. I do not need to understand what you are doing to believe that you are good. You have proven your faithfulness too many times for me to doubt it now. Even when I cannot trace your hand, I choose to trust your heart. Father, teach me the rhythm of release. In every moment where fear tempts me to take control, remind me to open my hands again. Show me how to live with an open heart, to walk forward without demanding certainty. You never promised me a life without storms, but you did promise to be with me in the boat, and that is enough. Let my surrender today be my act of worship, my declaration of faith, my offering of love. I give you not just my hopes, but my fears, not just my dreams, but my doubts, not just my plans, but my brokenness. Take all of it, Father, and do what only you can do. Transform ashes into beauty, mourning into dancing, surrender into strength. And in this sacred letting go, I ask for something more precious than answers. I ask for your peace, the kind of peace that defies logic, that stands guard over the heart when nothing makes sense. The kind of peace that comes not from everything going right, but from knowing that even when everything feels wrong, you are still good. That peace settle over my spirit like morning dew. Let it soak into the dry, cracked places of my soul. Let it quiet the noise within and around me. Let it remind me, again and again, that I am held. Father, remind me that surrender is not passive, it is powerful. It is choosing to believe you are who you say you are. It is deciding to stop fighting battles you never ask me to fight. It is trusting that you are working even when I cannot see it. Believing that you are moving even when I feel stuck. Knowing that you are guiding me even when the path is hidden. I surrender not because I have lost hope, but because I have found it in you. I give up control not because I have failed, because you are better at leading than I am. And so, as the day begins to unfold, I choose to walk with hands open and heart yielded. If I am tempted to grasp for control again, whisper to me gently. Remind me of the peace I tasted when I surrendered. Pull me back into the safety of your presence. Let my every breath be a letting go. Let my every step be a trusting forward. Let my every decision be grounded in the truth that I am not alone. I am guided. I am carried. I am loved. This surrender is not once and done. It is moment by moment, choice by choice. And so, Father, help me to return to this place again and again today, to the quiet trust, the humble letting go, the sacred offering of control. Let it become my rhythm, my heartbeat, my way of being in the world. Not frantic, not grasping, but surrendered and at peace. I do not need to understand everything to believe in you. I only need to look at the cross to remember how far you were willing to go to show me I am loved. If you did not withhold your own son, surely you will not fail me now. So I place my trust in that love, and I let that love be the anchor when everything else feels uncertain. Let surrender be not just my prayer today, but my posture. Let it guide the way I speak, the way I listen, the way I respond to what comes. Let me be known as one who trusts you fully, who walks not in fear but in quiet strength. You, Father, are worthy of my surrender. You are worthy of my trust, and so I choose, again and again, to let go and to fall into your arms. Father, having surrendered control into your hands, I now find myself standing still in the quiet space of waiting. And in that stillness, I realize how deeply I struggle to trust your timing. Though my lips say I trust you, my heart often aches in the silence that follows. But I know you are not absent in the pause. You are not withholding out of cruelty. You are preparing me, shaping me, teaching me something that the answers alone could never reveal. So even now, Father, I offer you this growing ache for clarity, this longing to see the fruit of prayers that have yet to bloom. I give you the space between the asking and the receiving, and I choose to believe you are doing something sacred in the delay. Waiting feels like a wilderness where time stretches thin and hope begins to fray. Yet it is in this wilderness that you refine me. You purify my desires, clarify my vision, and deepen my roots. In this space where nothing appears to change, I realize how much you are changing me. You are breaking my addiction to immediate gratification and teaching me the rhythm of patience, the music of endurance. You are strengthening my faith not by rushing to respond, but by revealing yourself in the waiting. You are showing me that your pace is not my pace, and that is a gift. You are not in a hurry because you are not afraid. And if you are not afraid, then I do not have to be either. Father, help me to trust that just because I cannot see movement does not mean you are not moving. Help me to understand that just because I have not heard an answer does not mean you have not spoken into my life in ways I cannot yet recognize. Help me to remember that faith is not about always feeling certain, but about choosing to believe even when everything feels uncertain. Waiting is not wasted when it is placed in your hands. You do not delay out of indifference. You delay because you love me enough to give me what I need, not just what I want. You delay because you see the whole story, and I only see a page. So I pray, Father, for the kind of trust that does not waver when the days feel long. I pray for the kind of peace that wraps around my soul while the answer is still forming. I pray for the strength to remain faithful in the meantime. I ask for eyes to see the hidden blessings along the path, the quiet signs of your presence, the gentle ways you speak through nature, through people, through the rhythm of my breath. I ask for the courage to stay present in the process, to find beauty in the becoming, to stop measuring my life by what I have received and instead begin to measure it by how closely I am walking with you. Father, it is not easy to wait when the world tells me to run, to hustle, to grasp, to push forward at all costs. But you invite me to a different way, a path of peace, of surrender, of trust that does not rely on visible outcomes. You invite me to rest in the knowledge that you are never late, never early, but always perfectly on time. And in that truth, I find my breath again. I find the courage to slow down. I find the faith to stop striving and start abiding. I begin to see that the delays are not detours but divine appointments. That you are not testing me to see if I will break, but training me to see if I will trust. I want to trust you, Father, not just with my soul, but with my hours, my minutes, my seasons. I want to trust you not only for the final destination, but for every step along the way. I want to walk with a heart that is not ruled by urgency, but by intimacy with you. Let waiting become a place of worship, not worry. Let it become a sanctuary where my soul finds stillness and my mind finds clarity. Let it be the soil where faith grows deep, where character is shaped, and where your voice becomes unmistakable. Let me not resent the waiting, but receive it as a holy invitation. Father, if I must wait, let me wait well. Let me wait with grace, with gratitude, with expectation that you are writing something beautiful, even now. Let me rise each morning not counting the days gone by, but treasuring the day I have, Because you are in it, let me find joy not only in answered prayers, but in the assurance that you hear every cry of my heart. Let me walk through each moment not wondering how long it will last, but rejoicing that you walk with me through it. Let me become someone who does not fear delays, because I know you are never delayed. And so I lean in again, into the unknown, into the unseen, into the slow unfolding of your will. I stop clenching my fists around my timeline and open my hands to your wisdom. I stop looking at my watch and start looking at your heart. I stop begging for speed and start longing for depth. I stop asking when and begin asking who you want me to become in this space, who you are revealing yourself to be, who I can love and serve while I wait. Let the waiting enlarge my soul instead of shrinking it. Let it refine my faith instead of corroding it. You are the author of time, the keeper of seasons, and the shepherd of my path. If you are not panicked, then neither must I be. If you are patient, then so can I learn to be. Because the one I wait for is not an outcome or a breakthrough, it is you. And in the waiting, I find you closer than I imagined, more present than I realized, more faithful than I dared to believe. So I will stay, Father, not in resignation, but in reverent trust, knowing that what you do in me while I wait may be even greater than what I am waiting for. Father, even as I learn to trust your timing, I now sense you drawing me toward the deeper invitation, the call to rejoice, even when clarity has not yet come. I hear the quiet whisper in my soul, asking me to lift my eyes not only in faith, but also in joy. And that is where I hesitate, Father, because joy feels so distant when life is fragile. How can I celebrate in the middle of questions, in the absence of answers, when the weight of the unknown presses on my chest like a stone? And yet, I hear you say that joy is not a reward for resolution. It is the courage to sing while still in the storm. So, Father, I turn my face toward you not only as the one who guides, but as the source of joy itself. Joy that does not depend on circumstances. Joy that is not crushed by delays. Joy that blooms even in sorrow's shadow. Teach me to find that kind of joy, the kind that dances without music, that holds peace without explanation, that radiates even when the sun is hidden behind clouds of doubt. I want to know that joy, not shallow cheerfulness, not forced optimism, but the deep, anchored gladness that comes from knowing you are here, right here, even now. Joy, Father, is not an escape from reality, but a sacred defiance in the face of it. It is a holy refusal to be ruled by despair. It is a declaration that you are greater than the grief, stronger than the storm, present even when I feel most alone. It is the light that refuses to be extinguished, the melody that refuses to be silenced. So I ask you now to place within me that kind of joy. Let it rise from places in me I thought were empty. Let it fill the hollowed out spaces where hope once lived and now trembles. Let it become the song I sing as I walk through this waiting with courage. Father, help me recognize the small joys that surround me, already the warmth of morning light on my face, the breath that still fills my lungs, the quiet hum of life continuing even when everything feels uncertain. Let me see joy not as a distant destination, but as a daily choice. Let me notice it in the kindness of a stranger, in the strength of a friend who stays, in the laughter that bubbles up when I least expect it. Let me begin to understand that joy is not something I must chase, but something I allow in something I welcome even in the cracks of my brokenness. You never ask me to understand everything, Father, but you do invite me to rejoice in the midst of it all. Rejoicing does not mean pretending things are easy. It means proclaiming that you are good, even when life is not. It means holding on to gratitude when fear tries to tighten its grip. It means choosing to smile with tears in my eyes, knowing that joy and sorrow are not enemies, but companions on this journey of faith. So I stand here, not because all is well, but because you are with me, and that alone is enough to awaken joy. Let joy be the thread that weaves through my pain, the color that brightens even the grayest moments. Let it be the oil that softens the hardness of waiting, the warmth that keeps my heart from growing cold. Let it be the echo of eternity that reminds me I am not forgotten, that my story is not over, that you are still writing beauty into every line. Joy is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of you in the middle of it. So let me feel your nearness now, not only as comfort, but as celebration. Let me rise with laughter that surprises even me, because I know you are faithful. Father, I want to wake each morning not with dread, but with delight. Not with fear, but with anticipation of how you might meet me today. I want to walk through each hour aware of blessings I once overlooked. I want to speak words that carry joy to others, that lift burdens, that light candles in dark corners of their hearts. Let me become a vessel of joy in this world, not through effort or pretending, but by overflowing with what you pour into me. Let joy become my strength, not because I feel strong, but because your presence gives me reason to keep going. And if today brings sorrow again, if news arrives that shakes me, if silence stretches longer than I can bear, then let joy be my secret shelter. Let it hold me steady when my emotions tremble. Let it whisper truth when my mind begins to spiral. Let it remind me that no matter what happens around me, there is something unshakable within me, because you live there, because your spirit breathes joy even into dry bones, because you are not a God of empty promises, but of overflowing presence, because the joy of the Lord is not a metaphor, it is a lifeline. So today, Father, I choose joy not because everything makes sense, but because you remain the same. I choose joy, not as denial, but as defiance. I choose joy, not because the pain is gone, but because your love is greater. I choose joy as my anthem, my anchor, my act of faith. I choose joy as the gift I unwrap again and again. No matter how many times life tries to steal it, I choose joy because even if this season stretches longer than I hoped, I will not let the waiting steal my wonder. I will not let the unknown silence my song. I will rejoice because you are here. Father, now that I have chosen joy in the waiting, I find my heart aching for something deeper still, for rest. Not the kind of rest that comes from sleep or stillness alone, but the kind that quiets the storm inside me, the kind that settles the unrest I carry like a second skin. Father, I come to you weary not just in body, but in soul. My thoughts run in endless circles, and my fears whisper louder than peace. I long for the stillness that only you can offer, the kind that does not demand understanding. Only surrender. And so, Father, I lean into you. I let go of the striving, the constant need to solve, to control, to hold it all together. I have tried for so long to manage the weight of life on my own. I have tried to earn peace through performance, to outrun anxiety with activity. But now I see that rest was never meant to be earned. It is received, like a gift, like the arms of a father open wide, waiting not for perfection, but for presence. I come as I am tired, raw, unfinished, and you welcome me without hesitation. You are not impatient with my weariness. You are not frustrated by my fatigue. Father, your rest is not escape. It is not avoidance. It is the deep breath in the middle of battle, the sacred pause between waves. It is the gentle whisper that says, "You are enough, 'cause I am with you." So I lay down what I have been carrying, every anxious thought, every restless burden, every voice that tells me I am falling behind. I bring them to you one by one and lay them at your feet, trusting that you are strong enough to hold what I cannot. I do not have to pretend here. I do not have to be brave. I only have to be still and let you be God. In your embrace, I find the kind of peace that does not depend on outcomes. I find the kind of silence that speaks louder than fear. I find the kind of comfort that heals wounds I did not even know were still bleeding. You do not rush me through my process. You do not push me to move on before I am ready. Instead, you sit with me in the quiet. You remind me that rest is not weakness. It is worship. It is trust in motion. It is the holy confidence to stop and believe that even when I pause, you are still working, still moving, still faithful. So, Father, help me rest not just in this moment, but in the rhythm of my days. Teach me how to pause without guilt, how to breathe without fear, how to say no without shame. Teach me to let my soul lie down beside still waters, not because the journey is over, but because I need to be refreshed before I can continue. Let your rest fill the spaces where exhaustion once lived. Let it cradle the corners of my mind where worry likes to hide. Let it anchor me when life tries to drift me into chaos again. Father, I remember now that even Jesus rested. He stepped away from the crowds. He withdrew to quiet places. He took time to simply be with you. And if he, who carried the weight of the world, made space for rest, how much more do I need it? Help me follow his example without apology. Let me carve out space in my heart and calendar to return to stillness. Let me resist the noise that constantly calls for my attention, and instead choose the peace that waits in your presence. You are the shepherd who leads me beside quiet waters. You restore my soul. I do not have to wait until I have earned rest. I do not have to finish the list or fix the problem or prove myself worthy. Rest is not a reward for productivity. It is a birthright of those who belong to you. It is an act of trust that says, "You are enough for me," even when I feel like I am not enough for the world. So I release my need to prove anything today. I release the pressure to always be achieving. I choose to abide in you, to let my soul be held rather than driven, nurtured rather than pushed. Father, Let rest reshape how I see my worth. Let it rewrite the story that says I must constantly strive to matter. Let it soften the edges of my ambition and ground me in the truth that I am loved here and now. Without doing anything at all, your love does not rise and fall with my performance. It is steady, unwavering, eternal. So let my heart lean back into that truth. Let it carry me like a river carries a leaf effortlessly, securely, fully supported. Let your presence be my resting place, not just occasionally, but always. And when the world demands more than I can give, when expectations feel impossible, when I find myself slipping back into patterns of hurry and hustle, remind me to return here, to this moment, to this stillness, to this grace. Remind me that I do not have to keep running. I do not have to have all the answers. I only need to rest in the one who does. Let rest become my declaration of faith. Let it be the quiet confidence that you are holding everything together, even when I am not. So, Father, here in the sacred hush of morning, I choose to rest in you. I choose to inhale peace and exhale striving. I choose to lean into your heart and remember that you are not far. You are closer than my next breath. You are the stillness beneath the noise, the shelter beneath the storm, the embrace that never lets go. Let me rest here in your presence until I remember again that I am safe, that I am held, that I am home. Father, as I continue resting in the shelter of your presence, I feel you drawing my heart to another sacred place, the path of forgiveness. And Father, even as I say the word, something tightens in my chest, because forgiveness is not always easy. It is often heavy, tender, and tangled in the ache of what has been lost or broken. Yet as I sit here in the quiet with you, I know you are calling me to release what I have held on to for too long, not because you minimize the pain, but because you refuse to let it define me. Father, I confess that some wounds have stayed with me like shadows, following me into each new season, coloring how I see others, how I see myself. There are words that were spoken over me that still echo in moments of silence. There are betrayals I thought I had buried that still rise without warning. And there are pieces of my own heart I have hardened just to protect myself from ever feeling that hurt again. But you, Father, you see it all. You see the cracks, the sharp edges, the places still sore to the touch, and still you come close. You do not demand that I forgive in my own strength. You do not push me to move faster than grace allows. Instead, you remind me that forgiveness is not forgetting. It is not pretending it did not matter. It is choosing to let go of my grip on resentment so that I can take hold of healing. And so, with trembling hands, I place before you those I have struggled to forgive. I speak their names, not as an act of weakness, but as an offering of trust. I release them to you, not because they deserve it, but because you have forgiven me when I least deserved it too. Father, your mercy is a mystery I will never fully understand, but it is the ground I now stand on. If you, who are perfect, could offer grace to the ones who pierced you, how could I withhold it from others? I do not want to carry bitterness into another day. I do not want my joy to be chained to someone else's choices. I want to be free to love, free to heal, free to live without the weight of yesterday poisoning the beauty of today. And Father, I also bring before you the harder truth, the moments I need forgiveness myself, the times I failed others, the words I should not have said, the silences I should have filled, the pride that pushed people away, the fear that made me hide. I lay these at your feet, not with shame, but with sorrow and hope. Hope that in your kindness, you do not turn your face from me. You welcome me back again and again, washing me with a mercy that renews my soul. Let me not only receive that grace, but let it change me. Let forgiveness become my rhythm, not a one-time act, but a daily choice. Let it soften my thoughts, tame my anger, and open doors I have long shut. Let it rebuild bridges I burned in haste and breathe life into relationships I had given up on. Show me how to walk gently with others, knowing we all carry bruises beneath the surface. Let compassion rise in me where judgment once stood. Let understanding take the place of assumption. Let love lead where hurt tried to take hold. Father, I know forgiveness is a journey. Sometimes it comes quickly, like a rush of release. Other times it is slow, layered, and must be chosen over and over. Give me the strength to keep choosing when memories try to reopen wounds. Help me respond with your grace. When my pride whispers that holding on is safer, remind me that freedom is found in letting go. When the pain resurfaces, let it drive me back to you, not into bitterness. Teach me how to forgive without losing my voice, how to make peace without losing my boundaries, how to love wisely with both tenderness and truth. You do not ask me to forget wisdom. You ask me to lay down the chains. Help me discern the difference between reconciliation and release. Sometimes the act of forgiveness does not mean returning to the same closeness, but it always means setting my heart free. And Father, let me teach others what you are teaching me. Let my life be a quiet testimony that forgiveness is possible even when healing feels far away. Let others find shelter in the grace I offer, not because I am strong, but because you are. Let my family, my friends, even my enemies, see a heart not hardened by hurt, but made whole by you. Let forgiveness ripple outward through every word, every action, every silent moment of grace extended. Let me remember that forgiveness is not always about a person. Sometimes it is about forgiving a season, a disappointment, an unmet expectation. Help me grieve what was lost without becoming bitter toward what is. Let me release the weight of what could have been and embrace the beauty of what else is. Help me forgive life for not turning out as I imagined. Help me trust that your plan, though different, is still good. Father, I lean on you now more than ever. This work is sacred and painful and beautiful. But I know that in walking this road, I am walking with you. You are not distant from my hurt. You are not indifferent to my scars. You have walked the road of rejection, betrayal, misunderstanding, and you forgave even in agony. You whispered grace when the world shouted cruelty. So I follow in your footsteps, slowly, clumsily, but sincerely. I walk this day with a lighter heart, not because all is fixed, but because I have chosen freedom. I carry no debt of revenge, no prison of pain. I step into this morning unclenched, open, available to love again. I will stumble, I will wrestle, but I will return again and again to this place of surrender, where mercy flows like a river and forgiveness falls like rain. Father, in the quiet aftermath of letting go, of choosing forgiveness over bitterness, I find myself standing at the edge of something uncertain. And yet, it is here, in this unfamiliar place, that you gently whisper once more, "Trust me." Father, that word, trust, stirs something deep within me. It both comforts and challenges. It asks me to lay down control, to silence my endless questions, and to place the weight of all that is unknown into your hands. And so, Father, I come now not with answers, but with open hands. I bring before you every mystery that lies ahead, every road I have not walked, every door that may or may not open, every outcome I cannot predict. I bring the fear that hides behind my planning, the worry tucked beneath my desire to be prepared. I bring the uncertainty that sometimes clouds my vision, and the restlessness that wants to rush your timing. And I offer it to you, my steady Father, the one who holds all things. You have never asked me to know everything. You have never required me to predict or protect the future. What you ask is something far more tender: a heart willing to trust, a spirit willing to follow, a soul willing to rest in the truth that you are already where I am not, that you are preparing what I cannot see, that even when the path curves and the details blur, you remain unchanged. Father, help me lean into that truth this morning. Remind me that not knowing is not a sign of failure, that surrender is not giving up, but giving over. Let my confidence be anchored in who you are, not in what I understand. Let me wake each day not needing a detailed map, but a deeper awareness of your presence. Let me trade my anxious thoughts for holy stillness. Let me remember that peace is not found in clarity, but in closeness to you. When I feel tempted to rush, slow me down with your wisdom. When I long to grasp control, loosen my grip with gentle grace. When I imagine worst-case scenarios, fill my mind with reminders of your faithfulness. I do not want to live guarded by fear. I want to move forward covered by faith, even when the next step feels uncertain, even when nothing around me feels steady. Let my heart remain unshaken because it rests in you. Father, I know that trusting you does not mean the road will always be easy. It does not promise comfort or predictability, but it promises presence. It promises companionship through every storm and guidance through every wilderness. You walk beside me not just when I am sure, but when I am scared. You speak not only in moments of clarity, but also in the silence. And even when I can't hear your voice, I trust that you are near. Teach me how to hold plans loosely, but hold your promises tightly. Let me prepare, but not obsess. Let me dream, but not drift away from your will. Let me seek wisdom, but not idolize control. Remind me that it is okay to not have it all figured out. That even in the waiting, even in the not yet, you are doing something holy. You are working beneath the surface, weaving purpose into my every pause. And Father, as I look at the unknown, I also ask for courage, not the kind that roars, but the quiet kind that keeps showing up, that keeps choosing faith over fear, that says yes to today without demanding full understanding of tomorrow. Let my bravery be built on trust, not on certainty. Let my strength come from surrender, not from strategy. Let my steps be small but steady, moving in rhythm with your leading. When my thoughts start to wander down roads that have not been built, bring me back to the present. When my fears paint pictures of what might go wrong, remind me of all that has gone right under your hand. You have carried me through seasons I thought I would not survive. You have made a way when I saw no door. You have written beauty into the middle of brokenness, and you will do it again. Father, I trust you with the people I cannot change, the situations I cannot fix, and the outcomes I cannot control. I trust you with the opportunities I do not yet see, and the ones I am afraid to step into. I trust you with my delays, my disappointments, and my desires. I trust you with my fragile heart and my finite understanding. I trust you because you have proven again and again that you are worthy. So today, I walk into the unknown, not with fear, but with expectancy, with a posture of surrender, not defeat. I walk forward knowing that you are already in my tomorrow, preparing good things I can't yet imagine. I do not need to see the whole picture to take the next step. I only need to hear your voice, feel your hand, and believe that you are faithful. That has always been enough. Father, help me not just to trust you with the unknown, but to find joy in the trusting. Let this be a day marked by quiet confidence. Let my soul exhale. Let my heart open wide. Let me laugh without worry. Let me plan without panic. Let me hope without hesitation. Let my life reflect not a need for control, but a trust in the one who controls it all. Even in the gray places, even in the waiting, even in the wilderness, I choose to trust. Even when I do not understand, even when I feel afraid, even when nothing around me makes sense, I choose to trust. Not because I am strong, but because you are. Not because I see clearly, but because you do. Not because I have every answer, but because you are the answer. Father, now that I have placed my trust in you for what lies ahead, I find myself quietly asking for the strength to face what stands in front of me right now. It is not only the unknowns of tomorrow that weigh heavy on my heart, but the responsibilities and challenges of today. And so, Father, I come to you again, carrying not fear this time, but the need for courage, energy, and resolve to live this day well. This morning does not ask me to conquer the world. It simply invites me to show up, to be faithful in what is mine to do. But sometimes even that feels like more than I can handle. There are demands that stretch me, expectations that press in, and tasks that leave me feeling drained before I even begin. That is why I turn to you not just as a source of comfort, but as the wellspring of strength. I do not want to try and push through this day in my own ability. I want to move through it with the power that comes from abiding in you. Father, strengthen my hands for the work ahead, whether it is work done in public or unseen in silence. Let it be done with excellence and purpose, Strengthen my mind to focus, to resist distraction, to think clearly even when the noise of the world tries to pull me in different directions. Strengthen my body to endure what is necessary, to stay healthy, to have energy when I need it most. But most of all, strengthen my heart to be patient, to be kind, to be grounded in grace. I know that challenges will arise. There may be moments that test my character, conversations that try my patience, circumstances that shake my peace. In those moments, Father, let me not react from my weakness, but respond from your strength. When I feel overwhelmed, remind me that I am not alone. When I feel inadequate, remind me that you have already gone before me. When I feel like quitting, whisper once again that you are with me, and that is reason enough to keep going. Let today be a day of endurance, not the kind that just survives, but the kind that thrives through persistence. Teach me to face problems without panic, to walk into difficult spaces without fear, to carry responsibility without resentment. Let my spirit remain steady even when my schedule is not. Let my soul remain grounded even when everything around me shifts. Father, help me remember that strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet choice to keep moving forward. Sometimes it is the soft answer when I want to lash out. Sometimes it is the grace to let go of things that do not serve peace. Give me strength not only to lift what is heavy, but to release what is unnecessary, to carry what matters and to surrender what does not. I also ask for the strength to love well, to be present for those around me, to listen with compassion, to speak with wisdom, and to serve without needing recognition. Let me be strong enough to forgive quickly, to apologize sincerely, and to be humble enough to learn when I fall short. These are not small things. Father, they are the quiet victories that build the kind of life that honors you. Even in mundane routines, give me strength to find purpose. Even in repetition, help me see renewal. Even in tasks that feel unnoticed, remind me that nothing is wasted in your hands. Let every ordinary moment become an offering. Let the way I answer emails, clean dishes, speak to coworkers, or care for family all be infused with the strength that comes from knowing I am doing it with you. Father, I ask for strength to choose joy today, to find reasons to be thankful even in difficulties, to notice beauty even in a world that sometimes feels broken. Let my heart be resilient, not hardened by disappointment, but softened by gratitude. Let me rise again when I stumble. Let me try again when I fail. Let me breathe deeply when anxiety rushes in. Let me speak life when negativity surrounds. There will be interruptions, delays, and frustrations. I will be tempted to give in to irritation, to respond with stress, or to carry burdens that were never mine. But in those moments, let me pause. Let me find you again. Let me draw strength not from pride or pressure, but from deep well of peace that flows from intimacy with you. Father, remind me that my strength does not come from proving anything to anyone. It comes from knowing I am loved, accepted, and empowered by you. I do not need to hustle to be worthy. I do not need to earn rest. I do not need to compare my efforts with anyone else. What I need is to walk in rhythm with your spirit, one faithful step at a time. Let this day not be defined by how much I accomplish, but by how I carry myself through it. With grace, with integrity, with love. Let my strength show up not in perfection, but in perseverance, not in the absence of struggle, but in the way I keep choosing what is good even when it is hard. Let me be known not just for what I do, but for how I live with a spirit anchored in something deeper than circumstance. And when the day grows long and I begin to tire, Father, help me return to you once more, to be renewed in stillness, to find quiet strength in surrender, to remember that even when I reach the end of my own energy, your strength is made perfect in my weakness. That is the mystery and the beauty of walking with you. I do not need to be enough, because you are. So let me face this day, not with dread but with devotion, not with anxiety but with anticipation, not with fear but with faith. Let me begin it leaning on you, carry it with you, and end it resting in you. And whatever this day brings, may it find me strong, not because life was easy, but because I chose to live it with you. Father, as I gather the strength to face the responsibilities of today, I am reminded that true strength is not just physical or even outward. It begins in the quiet chambers of my mind, in the silent corners of my heart. And so, Father, I come now asking for your help in guarding my thoughts and emotions, for they shape how I experience this day and how I respond to the world around me. So much of my peace depends what I allow into my inner world. My thoughts, if left unguarded, can spiral into fear, into criticism, into worry that grows louder with every hour. My emotions, though valid and deeply human, can sometimes lead me if I do not first lay them before you. I do not want to be a prisoner of anxiety, envy, anger, or insecurity. I want to be free. And that freedom begins with surrendering the battlefield of my mind and heart to you. Help me, Father, to filter my thoughts through truth. Let your voice be louder than the lies that try to creep in. When I hear the whispers that I am not enough, remind me of who you say I am: loved, chosen, created with purpose. When I feel the pull to dwell on past regrets or future fears, draw me back into the present, where grace meets me anew. When my imagination runs wild with what-ifs, anchor me in what is real and good and right before me. Guard me against bitterness and resentment. Life does not always unfold as I hoped, and people do not always act as I wish. But I do not want my heart to become hardened by disappointment. I do not want to carry grudges that weigh down my spirit. Teach me to release offense quickly, to forgive even when it is not asked for, to let go of what cannot be changed, not because it is easy, but because it is freeing. Father, help me to remain emotionally steady, not numb, not disconnected, but grounded. Let me feel deeply without being overwhelmed. Let me care deeply without being consumed. Let me respond from a place of peace, rather than react from a place of pain. Let me pause when emotions rise, breathing slowly, remembering that you are near. There will be moments today when something may trigger sadness or frustration. fear, or fatigue. Let me not suppress those emotions, but bring them to you as soon as they rise. Let me not allow them to fester in silence, but let them be met by your compassion. Teach me to be aware of what I feel without being ruled by what I feel. Teach me to speak to my emotions instead of being spoken to by them. Father, in moments of stress, be my calm. In moments of confusion, be my clarity. In moments of irritation, be my patience. In moments of temptation, be my escape. Do not let my thoughts drift toward negativity or my emotions pull me into places you never meant for me to stay. Remind me that I have a choice, that every thought can be taken captive, that every emotion can be surrendered. Let me think on what is true and noble, right and pure, lovely and admirable. Let beauty be my meditation. Let gratitude be my default. Let joy find its way into even the smallest crevices of this day. And when darkness tries to creep into my mind, let me run to the light without delay. Father, help me to speak kindly to myself. I am often my own harshest critic. Replaying mistakes, measuring myself against impossible standards, doubting the good you have begun in me. Quiet the voice of shame, silence the inner accuser, replace harshness with gentleness, pressure with grace. Let my inner dialogue echo your love, not the world's judgment. Help me also to carry empathy today for myself and for others. I do not always know the battles others are facing, just as they do not know mine. Let me be slow to judge, quick to listen, eager to understand. When someone speaks from their pain, let me not take offense but extend compassion. When someone lashes out, let me not retaliate but look deeper. Make me aware of the emotional currents beneath every interaction. And Father, when the day grows busy and I forget to pause, gently remind me again. Remind me to check in with my heart. Remind me to breathe, to reset, to come back to center. Let me carry moments of stillness even in a noisy world. Let peace not be something I chase, but something I carry. Let joy not be something I wait for, but something I choose. I ask that you guard the gates of my mind, what I see, what I hear, what I allow to enter. Let me be wise in what I consume. Let me be intentional in what I dwell on. Let me reject anything that pollutes my peace or clouds my perspective. Let what fills my mind be what fuels my soul. Let my thoughts lead me toward life, not worry, toward grace, not judgment, toward possibility, not fear. Let them build, not break. Let them heal, not harm. Let them align with the life you desire for me, a life of freedom, integrity, and inner harmony. And in all of this, Father, help me to remain anchored in truth, not tossed by emotions, not driven by fleeting thoughts, not enslaved by past patterns. Help me live today with mental clarity and emotional resilience. Let my mind be guarded like a garden, cultivated with care. Let my heart be tender but not fragile, open but protected. This is my desire, not to live a perfect day, but to live a peaceful one. Not to control everything, but to surrender everything that would control me. Let my mind rest in your wisdom. Let my emotions rest in your comfort. And as I walk through this day, Let every inner storm be stilled by the steady presence of your love. Father, as I rise and carry the peace you have planted within me, I begin to turn outward, toward the people who will share this day with me. My relationships, Lord, each conversation, each connection, each interaction is a sacred space where your love can be revealed or neglected. I do not want to simply move through this day tolerating people. I want to honor you through how I love them. So, Father, help me to reflect your presence in every relationship you have entrusted to my care. Let there be continuity between the stillness of my soul and the tone of my words. Let the gentleness I have received from you become the gentleness I offer to others. Let the grace that has comforted me become the grace I extend without condition. Because every heart I encounter carries hidden weight, and I never fully know the storms they are navigating. Make me slow to speak, eager to listen, and quick to bless. Father, begin first with those closest to me, family, friends, the ones I may sometimes take for granted. Help me not to treat intimacy as an excuse for impatience. Help me to speak love before correction, to choose humility over pride, and to lean into forgiveness when frustrations rise. Let my presence be a shelter, not a source of pressure. Let my words heal instead of harm, affirm instead of assume, and soothe instead of sharpen. In moments of disagreement, give me a heart that values peace more than being right. Help me not to raise my voice when I could raise my understanding. Teach me to ask questions before casting judgment. Let me recognize when silence is wiser than retaliation, when kindness is more powerful than sarcasm. I do not want to win arguments. I want to win hearts back to love. And that begins by surrendering my ego at the altar of compassion. Father, when I encounter difficult people, remind me that they are not my enemies. Let me see them through the lens of their pain, not their behavior. Show me how to set healthy boundaries without building emotional walls. Teach me to forgive in real time, not because they deserve it, but because bitterness is too heavy a burden to carry. Make me courageous enough to love when it is hard, and gentle enough to release when necessary. Let me not avoid vulnerability, but choose it wisely. Show me where to invest my emotional energy, and where to step back in wisdom. Relationships are sacred ground, and I want to tread carefully, choosing connection over control, presence over performance. Teach me to value quality over quantity and truth over comfort. Help me to be trustworthy, not only in words, but in actions and intentions. Let every interaction today be touched by eternity. Whether I am speaking to a stranger or comforting a friend, working with a colleague or checking in on someone I love, help me not to rush. Help me not to reduce people to roles or tasks or interruptions. Let me see them as you do, worthy of dignity, image bearers of heaven, carrying stories that matter. May I move through this day honoring the sacredness of others. Father, help me to apologize quickly when I am wrong. Help me to admit when I have hurt someone, even unintentionally. Let humility mark my steps and honesty shape my tone. And when I feel misunderstood or unappreciated, remind me that you see everything, that I am not loving to get something in return. I am loving because it reflects who you are in me. when I feel isolated or left out. Draw near. Fill the gaps that people cannot fill. Let me not expect others to be my savior or my source. Let me receive from you first so that I do not demand what others were never meant to give. And when others open their hearts to me, help me handle their trust with care and their presence with gratitude. Let my love be real, not performative. Let it be steady, not conditional. Let it show up in the smallest moments, a kind glance, an encouraging word, a silent prayer for someone passing by. Let me be the kind of person whose presence makes others feel lighter, safer, and seen. Father, make me mindful of my tone. It is not only what I say, but how I say it that leaves an imprint. Help me to be gentle in correction, generous in praise, and slow to complain. Let me be someone who brings calm, not chaos, and clarity, not confusion. When emotions rise in others, help me not to mirror their storm, but to remain a steady voice of grace. Teach me to celebrate others genuinely, to rejoice in their victories without comparing myself, to lift them up without needing to be lifted, to serve without needing recognition. Let me be a builder of others, not a breaker of confidence. Let me speak words that echo long after I have walked away, not for my sake, but for theirs. And Father, let me pray for the people I meet today, not just talk to them, but talk to you about them. Place their names on my heart, their needs in my awareness. Help me see beneath their actions into their H's. Give me eyes that notice, hands that help, and words that restore. Let me become a vessel of healing by simply choosing to care with intention. If conflict arises today, remind me of the power of grace. If distance grows in a relationship, show me the next right step. If love feels costly, remind me that it is always worth it. That relationships are not perfect, but they are precious. That people are not projects, but miracles. That every moment of connection is an opportunity to reflect the one who first connected heaven and earth with love. Father, let me be a peacemaker today, not a peacekeeper who avoids tension, but a peacemaker who enters it with love. Let me be courageous enough to speak truth in love, tender enough to listen deeply, and strong enough to stand in the gap where reconciliation is needed. Let your wisdom guide me, and your spirit lead me, moment by moment. So here I am again, Father, hands open, heart ready, asking for your help not just in how I live, but in how I love. Let my relationships today be marked by kindness, integrity, and the fragrance of heaven. And in every word, every choice, every interaction, let me honor you first. Father, as I continue to walk forward in the light of this day, the beauty of honoring you through my relationships has settled deeply into my spirit. Yet even as I step from one conversation to the next, from moments of peace into possible storms of distraction, I realize how quickly I can drift. I need more than good intentions to remain grounded. I need to stay rooted in you, moment by moment, breath by breath, no matter how fast the hours move or how many things demand my attention. Father, I do not want to compartmentalize your presence. I do not want to start my morning with you and then forget you by noon. I want to carry you with me into the heart of every task, every decision, every detail. I want to live in communion with you that stretches across meetings, errands, silence, and business. Let there be no part of my day where you are absent from my awareness. Teach me how to remain, to abide, to be still on the inside even when the world around me accelerates. When responsibilities pull at my focus, let my soul remain anchored in you. Let me whisper prayers beneath the surface of routine. Let me breathe in your peace when pressure builds. Let me look for your presence in the most ordinary spaces, in the sound of footsteps, in the rustle of leaves, in the cadence of my own heartbeat, because you are here, not only in holy places, but in every place I allow to become holy by acknowledging you. When the pace picks up, slow me down internally. Help me walk at your rhythm. Remind me that rushing is not always necessary, and business does not equal worth. Let my soul move at the speed of peace. Let urgency bow to discernment. Let me be productive without being frantic, responsible without being overwhelmed, active without becoming spiritually dry. Let me work from rest, not for rest. Father, when interruptions come, help me not to treat them as threats, but as potential invitations. Teach me to pause with purpose, to hold space for divine redirection. Let me welcome what I did not plan. If you are in it, let me see inconvenience through the lens of compassion. Even when something delays me, detours me, or challenges my schedule, help me trust that it may be part of your design, not a disruption to it. In moments of solitude, let me check in with my spirit. Let me notice what I am carrying emotionally. Teach me to be honest with myself and with you. When irritation starts to simmer or worry begins to stir, help me not to suppress it, but to bring it before you quickly. You are not just Lord over my mornings. You are Lord over my hours, my transitions, my thoughts in the in-between. Father, let my heart remain teachable all day. Even if I start the day aligned with you, pride can creep in quietly. I can begin relying on my own strength or drifting toward people's approval. Keep me humble, aware of my need for you in every choice. If I notice myself becoming sharp, withdrawn, or self-protective, gently pull me back. Let conviction come swiftly, not with shame, but with clarity. You correct me because you love me, and I want to be corrected quickly. Let my responses reflect someone who walks with you. When I am praised, let me return it to you with gratitude. When I am criticized, help me listen for any truth without becoming defensive. When I am ignored, remind me of my worth in you. When I am seen, let it not inflate me. In every emotional shift, let me be tethered to you, so that highs and lows do not control my spirit. Let worship be a thread that runs through my day, not just in music, but in mindfulness. Let gratitude fill the quiet spaces. Let reflection soften the sharp edges. Even in small pockets of silence, let me turn my gaze back to you. A simple thank you, a deep breath, a whispered surrender. This is how I want to move, constantly recalibrating my soul in your direction. Father, when temptation comes, let me be quick to notice it. Whether it is the pull toward distraction, the lure of comparison, or the voice of discouragement, help me respond with truth. Let your word rise within me like a shield. Help me not to rationalize wrong thoughts or excuse harmful patterns. Instead, let me speak life over myself. Let me declare what is good, what is holy, what is aligned with the mind of Christ. Even when my energy dips, let my spirit stay awake. Even when my schedule feels full, let my heart remain open. Let me not wait until the end of the day to return to you. Let this be the day I stayed close, aware, responsive, not perfect, but present, not flawless, but faithful. Let me string together these sacred seconds until they form a life that reflects your glory. Father, when I see something beautiful, a child's laughter, the way sunlight touches the pavement, the fragrance of the air after rain, let me receive it as a gift from you. Let joy surprise me. Let delight break through the mundane. Let my senses be gateways to wonder, my smile a silent offering of praise. You are not only in the big, the dramatic, or the miraculous. You are in the softness of now. Let me rest in the knowledge that you are not far. Even when I feel distracted or forget to pray for a while, you are still near. You do not withdraw your presence when I fail to notice it. You do not become distant when I become preoccupied. You wait with kindness. You remain available, constant, and welcoming. And that, Father, humbles me. It draws me back to you with love, not guilt. So here I am, Father, walking this day with you. Let your voice be the quiet companion to my steps. Let your peace be the undercurrent of my decisions. Let your joy be the resilience in my trials. Let your presence be the invisible thread that ties each moment together with meaning. I do not want to live in fragments. I want to live in flow with you, in you, through you, always. Father, as I walk deeper into this day, carrying the stillness of your presence from one moment to the next, I begin to sense the quiet responsibility that comes with awareness. It is not enough to feel close to you within myself. My closeness must be visible through my choices. My love for you must be known by how I treat others. So, let the fruit of my connection with you show up in how I move, speak, give, and respond. Let my actions reflect your heart. Father, it humbles me to realize that someone might encounter you through me today, not because I am perfect, but because you dwell within me. Help me become aware of how my smallest gestures carry spiritual weight, whether I speak with warmth or irritation, whether I listen with patience or impatience, whether I forgive or withhold kindness. Each action becomes a reflection of something. I want it to reflect you. Let me become the kind of person whose presence brings peace into a room. Let my words carry gentleness, not force. Let my tone be healing, not harsh. Let my eyes see others fully, not scan them with judgment. Let my posture lean into compassion, not indifference. If I encounter someone hurting, let me not pass by in haste. Let me slow down enough to extend care, even if it costs me time or comfort. Father, I know that love is not always loud. Sometimes it shows up in silence, in showing up, in doing the task no one notices. Let me not seek recognition. Let me not serve to be seen. Let me serve because I see, because you first saw me, lifted me, healed me. I want to live as one who never forgets what I have received. Let gratitude overflow into generosity. Let humility birth quiet courage. Help me resist the urge to react out of ego. In conversations that feel tense, let me breathe before I respond. Let me choose grace over winning. Let me pause long enough to ask what love would do, not what is clever, or what is clever disguised as kind, but what is truly loving. Let me not manipulate with charm or weaponize silence. Let me not protect myself at the cost of another's dignity. Let me live truthfully, even when truth costs. Father, make me brave in compassion. It is easy to be kind when it is convenient, but let me also love when it stretches me. When someone is difficult, let me remember that you see their story, you see their wounds. Let me not reduce anyone to their mistakes. Let me not withhold mercy because I deem them undeserving. Who am I to measure what only you can see clearly? Let me forgive quickly, sincerely, and without condition. And when I fall short, when I act in a way that contradicts your nature, let conviction rise swiftly in me, not as shame, but as holy awareness. Let me repair what I break. Let me apologize without pride. Let me confess what is needed, not just to you but to those I wound. Let restoration become my rhythm, not my exception, because I want to live clean not only before you, but among others. Father, remind me that love is not an emotion I wait to feel. It is a decision I make over and over. Let that decision be rooted in my awareness of your love for me. Because when I forget how deeply I am loved, I begin to guard, defend, and withhold. But when I remember, I become generous, patient, and whole. Keep my heart anchored in your affection so that I never feel I must earn my worth or prove my value. Then I can love without fear of losing. Let me be faithful in the little things today. Let integrity show up in how I handle what is unseen. Let honesty define even the smallest choices. Let faithfulness be found in how I complete my tasks, honor my time, respect my boundaries, and protect what is sacred. Even when no one watches, let me choose what is good. Let me not become careless in the name of freedom. True freedom chooses well. Father, when I face conflict today, help me respond with both courage and kindness. Let me not avoid hard conversations, but let me enter them clothed in love. Let me speak truth gently, even when it trembles in my voice. Let my goal not be to prove, but to restore, not to win, but to heal, not to dominate, but to understand. Let every disagreement become a chance for humility to grow. And when I see someone overlooked, let me notice. When someone is excluded, let me include. When someone is weary, let me lighten their load. Let my arms be available to carry burdens, not my own. Let me become the friend I wish someone had been to me. Let me bless in secret, encourage quietly, and serve with joy. Not because it makes me good, but because it reveals how good you are. Father, I know that some of my biggest acts of love today may never be seen, but I trust that nothing is wasted in your kingdom. Every unseen sacrifice, every private act of goodness, every unspoken prayer, they all matter. They all echo. You are the one who sees in secret and rewards in ways this world cannot. So help me live not for applause, but for alignment with your heart. Let my hands be clean, not just in what they avoid, but in what they pursue. Let my mouth be pure, not just in what it refrains from saying, but in the life it speaks. Let my feet carry me toward righteousness, not just away from evil. Let holiness not become a list of rules, but a way of being that is saturated in love. Let me become less focused on avoiding wrong and more eager to embody good. Father, help me remember that every action today can become an offering. Whether I am washing dishes, answering emails, or simply sitting with someone in silence, let it all be worship. Let no moment be too small to be made holy. Let my entire day become a living prayer, not confined to words, but live through presence, intention, and love. Let me finish today not drained, but poured out in purpose. Father, as I reach this sacred moment, carrying all the whispers, petitions, tears, and gratitude that have poured from my heart through each chapter, I find myself not at the end, but at a soft beginning. This journey of prayer, though spoken in morning light, reaches far beyond the boundaries of sunrise. It stretches into the hours ahead, into the quiet glances, the quiet choices, the quiet strength that I now carry because I have drawn close to you. There is a gentle stillness in me now. It is not the stillness of doing nothing, but of being deeply rooted, like a tree that has grown through storms. I feel anchored by every truth you have whispered along the way. And though I will rise and move through the tasks of the day, my spirit remains bowed, not in defeat, but in reverence. I walk tall not because I am mighty, but because you are. Father, thank you for reshaping my thoughts morning after morning, gently peeling away the old layers of fear, anger, confusion, and self-reliance, and revealing beneath them a heart ready to trust again. You have not rushed me. You have sat with me in the hidden places, waited with me in the silence, and spoken not with thunder, but with tenderness. Because of that, I now move with a quieter confidence that does not need to be loud to be certain. As I rise into today's unknowns, I do not carry a map, I carry your voice. I do not need the whole plan, only the next right step. And even if the ground beneath me shakes, I will not fall apart, because you have taught me how to stand on something deeper than circumstance. You have shown me that peace is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of trust. And trust, like light, does not shout, it simply shines. Father, I carry with me the faces and names of those I love. I lift them gently into your care, trusting that your love for them is far greater than my ability to fix or protect. Let me release control not in defeat, but in faith. Let me pray not just for outcomes, but for transformation, for softened hearts, for healed memories, for new beginnings that do not erase the past, but redeem it. Today, if I see someone weary, may my smile be enough to lift their eyes. If I pass someone bitter, let my silence hold dignity, not judgment. If I am blessed with success, let it not breed pride, but deepen humility. If I face failure, let it not plant shame, but water perseverance. Whatever comes, let me respond not from fear, but from love, again and again, until love becomes my default language. And if I find myself alone in a moment of stillness, may I remember that I am never truly alone. You are the breath in my lungs, the calm in my chest, the warmth in my chest when everything else feels cold. When the noise of the world presses in, remind me how to return here to this quiet, to this center, to you. Let that remembering become my rhythm, my homecoming, my constant. I know there will be days when I forget, when I return to old patterns, when anxiety creeps in through the cracks of my thinking, when I speak too quickly, listen too slowly, love too cautiously. But even then, I will return here not in shame, but in hope, not because I am strong, but because you are gentle, because you are the kind of father who welcomes the wandering with open arms and steady patience. Let this not be the end of a prayer, but the beginning of a lived conversation, one that moves beyond morning and walks beside me into the afternoon, the evening, and the quiet dark. Let my breath become a quiet echo of your nearness. Let every ordinary act today be touched with sacred intention. Let every ordinary person I meet be treated as extraordinary in your eyes. Thank you for the strength that has been quietly building. Thank you for the healing that has come without fanfare. Thank you for the quiet victories, choosing forgiveness when anger feels easier, showing up when quitting feels tempting, speaking kindly when bitterness knocks at the door. These are the miracles that do not make headlines, but remake hearts. Father, I leave this space not with finality, but with fullness, not with closure, but with clarity. I carry a seed that will grow, even if slowly. I carry a light that will guide, even if dim. I carry a love that will hold, even if the world forgets to be gentle, and that is enough, because you are enough. Your presence is not seasonal. Your faithfulness is not moody. Your love is not earned, it is given, and I receive it now, fully. So let today begin, not with pressure, but with presence. Let me move slowly enough to notice beauty, deeply enough to feel it, and honestly enough to reflect it. Let me live not from obligation, but from overflow. Let this moment shape the rest of my day, not as a rule, but as a rhythm. Let the song of this prayer echo not in my words alone, but in every choice I make from here. And now, as the world brightens beyond the windows, as the morning mist gives way to clarity, and the breeze carries the breath of newness, I step forward into whatever waits, not in haste, not in fear, but with open hands and a listening heart, like a quiet stream winding through the valley, like sunlight gently spilling over the edge of the horizon. Like the soft hush of dawn stretching wide, I walk in today, held by peace, carried by hope, and covered in grace. Thank you for joining this sacred journey to the end. If this prayer has touched your spirit, I invite you to share your thoughts or your own morning prayer in the comments below. Your story matters. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share this video with someone who needs light this morning, and keep nurturing your faith each day. May your mornings always begin with grace, and your path remain lit by the one who walks with you quietly, faithfully, completely,